Yo, what's up, my gamers in Christ? How are we doing today? Today is the date of February 3rd, right? That's the date. Yeah, February 3rd. Glad to have you guys here. One moment, I do have to increase my volume. Unfortunately, it turned that off. I discovered that my volume was incredibly low, and I think we need to change that. So let me change that real quick. I think I had it on +3 decibels. There we go. That should be, you guys should be able to hear me a lot better now. You know, it's right on that medium line. We're not too loud, but we're not too quiet either. Let me know if the volume settings are better now. What's up, Juiced Boy? How we doing today, man? Hopefully we're doing well. But please do let me know if I'm too loud. Let me know if I'm just the right pitch. That's what we're going for. So let me know, guys. I plan on doing some testing here soon, but I have to have some free time on my schedule for that one. So unfortunately, not right now. I haven't been able to test it, but looking at my audio levels, you know what? I think I'm gonna turn it down 1 decibel. No, the volume is good? Oh, okay, bet. Well, if the volume is good, that is amazing. Unfortunately, my mic has like a weird buzzing noise, so I have to put on basically a filter that prevents background noise from that, going on. So unfortunately, I'm not quite able to get. I don't know where the buzzing comes from either. I don't think it comes from the mic. I think it's something to do with my setup, and unfortunately, that's gonna be a while until we're able to fix that. Once we get the money bags, you know, do a couple successful heists, maybe we can get there, but not right now. Not right now. Anyways, it's good to see you, by the way, Juiced Boy. I really appreciate you stopping by. We'll get started here soon. I just need to share my link, start up the game, and then we should be good to go. So let me share the link now. I actually have a Rightoid of the day that I'm pretty excited to talk about today. But we got a lot of Epstein file coverage, just due to the massive amounts of files they dumped. So we'll be getting into that. So you're good. I can recommend your low budget audio interface and mic. When it's just your voice, it's okay. We can turn it up. When you have a guest or play a video, you can seem quiet in comparison, though. Yeah, I was looking back at the episode yesterday, and I did notice that I was a lot more quiet than my compatriots. So what I've done is I've upped the decibels on my mic. So, and it still has that filter active, so you should be able to hear me a lot better in comparison. For the next podcast, I'll make sure everything is nice and EQ'd, because that is a little infuriating when that happens. Not infuriating, it's just, it's upsetting, you know? It's like, God damn it. But that's alright. That was our first episode. I thought we did a pretty great job, honestly. I really enjoyed it. I'm thinking about exporting my Rightoid of the day to the podcast, so maybe we could, I could show him like a video or something. I don't know, just some ideas. Also, after today's episode, I'll be putting question. If you guys have any question for the podcasters or me, just put it in there. Put it in the question box. It's like a recommendation box at your... Do they have that at jobs anymore? I don't think they do. I woke up super early because I thought I worked at 10 today. Turns out I work at 3, so that's always fun. It's alright though. I got some exercise. I thought it was a good time. Anyways, we'll get started here soon. I'm just waiting for myself to share all the links. Alright, we got that. I don't think there's anywhere else that oh yeah, DB. Gotta send it in the Dylan Burns. We love Dylan Burns out here. Truly an amazing journalist. You know, he's a real independent journalist. Everybody's like, you know, the entire right is fawning over Nick Shirley. We have real journalists here, like Dylan Burns. Goes on the front lines of Ukraine. Just an absolute badass. Can't give him enough love. And then there's I should send it in the Den of Fools, the Tom Foolery show. If you guys don't know who Tom is, he is a very cool person. He's got a couple long-form video essays on Totally Online Media, which is it's Tom, by the way. But and he's just a cool guy all around, honestly. Really like him. I saw he had Pisco and a couple rightoids on for a debate. I might check that out at some point. Probably just off stream, because I want to send as much traffic to my fellow content creators as I can. You know what I mean? It's hard being a libtuber out here these days. It really is. Although I feel like we are getting better. Like I feel like when Chorus announces their next set of creators, that'll really move some things forward. Because I brought it up yesterday on the podcast, but I really do feel the Democrats have a lack of funding, and we don't have big dark money groups like the Republicans do. Not to the same extent. And I think that's a tragedy. I truly do, because I feel like their money would be better served in the Democratic Party than the Republican Party, especially if they're a small business owner. You know, collectives of small businesses sometimes choose to donate, and Trump is just not in their best interest. Anyways, I think we will, let me go to OBS real quick, we'll activate our sources like we're leveling up or something. It's kind of cool. But we have a lot of Epstein news to cover today, guys. There is so much coming out of these files. I don't even think people have parsed through all of them. There's just so much. And what's insane is that it's actually not even the full thing. They haven't even released all of it yet. Can you believe that, dude? They're still in violation of the law. And what's more egregious is the fact that they have not included like they have included, my apologies, women's names and stuff that was supposed to be excluded. So they're breaking the law in multiple facets. It's kind of incredible to watch. I mean, truly. How are you this incompetent? You know, you have to ask yourself. That's why I'm not afraid of the midterms. These people are the definition of incompetency. I mean, how do you fumble that bad? I really do ask. Like, there are so many ways that Trump is failing, hurting America, like the prompt says, that it's just insane how incompetent they are. I mean, even as, like, how do you mess some of these things up? For example, how do you mess up immigration? He's fucking up immigration, dude. How do you do that? You are Donald Trump. You are the person everybody voted for on immigration. Not everybody, but it was a big reason. And the number one thing that you were voted for, you're messing up. People are disagreeing with you. People are saying your immigration and custom enforcement is going too far. Like, how? It's just insane levels of incompetency. So I'm not afraid of the midterms. I think they're gonna try something, but they're definitely gonna fail. That's the thing. They're just gonna fail. They're failures, dude. In every sense of the word. Anyways, I saw, so CoffeeZilla has a video on the Epstein files. I'm sure PBS NewsHour will go over it. Is there anybody else that's really covering this topic in large detail? Oh shit, yes, I completely forgot about this. Okay, apparently Tulsi Gabbard, this is breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. I heard about this just as I went live, so my apologies. Apparently Tulsi Gabbard, that a whistleblower is coming forth with information about Tulsi Gabbard that she can't even tell her lawyer. It is that serious of a national security risk. I mean, it's insane. So I think I'm gonna make a little short about that. I know my shorts game has been lacking. I've just been getting used to some new things in my life, so I apologize. But yeah, this is like shocking news. I heard about it, like I said, just when I went live, but apparently Tulsi Gabbard has some extremely a whistleblower knows something about Tulsi Gabbard that is so damning, so dangerous to the national security of America that the whistleblower isn't even allowed to tell her lawyer about it. Oh, I see we have a bot here. Hello. Hey, boost that engagement. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it up. It's making America gay again? Oh, that's great. I love my fellow kings and queens out there in the LGBT community. I'm one of them, so I'm a little bisexual, as the kids say. Anyways, yeah, I'm really interested to see more news about that, because this is, I mean, from the way the people around this were talking about it, I mean, this could be bombshell levels, like James Bond levels of information that Tulsi has gathered. Oh my. How you doing, by the way, Anthony? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, I mean, how do you even parse, like, how do you just hear that information and then just like, all right, let's continue on my day? You know, it's kind of hard to hear that and be like, whoa, why are we holding on here? Why are we not parsing that out a little more? Yeah, I don't know what, this is honestly a developing situation right now, it seems. Yeah, today, Bill, I thought I was going to stream at 7, but I ended up streaming at 11 because I work at 3. I thought I worked at 10, so. And hopefully the mic situation is a little better. I was listening back last night, and I definitely was a little bit more quiet, so I think for next stream I'll have a lot better EQing there. But Bill, as I was telling the chat, there is some breaking, shocking news about Tulsi Gabbard coming out that we can't even know right now. It is apparently that bad, that damning, that destructive to our national security that we can't even know about it right now. Not even her lawyer is allowed to know the exact details of what she's done. I mean, think about that. What am I supposed to make of that, you know? Am I just supposed to be like, oh, okay, well, guess we'll live our lives as normal, knowing there's a national security threat in the White House? And Tulsi Gabbard has been a scumbag for a while now. She really has been. She's not a good person in any way. And I've said this from the beginning about her. I think she's a Russian asset, dude. The way she talks about the Ukraine war, the way she talks about America, she does not, it seems astroturfed is the word I use to describe. It's fake. I truly do think she's a Russian asset, ladies and gentlemen. And if she does turn out to be, that's fucking treason. And she should be, well, what's the punishment for treason, you know? If she's giving information like our nuclear secrets to our Russian adversaries, or any adversaries for that matter, the punishment should not be light. I'll tell you that much. Funny how she accused Obama of treason, huh? Funny. Little bit of projection there, ma'am. Anyways, let's get in. I actually kind of want to watch this first. Although the one big ugly bill gave 75 billion to ICE. I like that. Kill it, Jeffries. We need some, you know what? I'll say if we have, like, we need effective memers on Hakeem Jeffries' side. So that way he can make some better, like, you know what I'm saying, better infographics. There we go. Anyways, not that one's horrible, but, you know, could be better. Anyways, our absolute Chad. I mean, how do you look at this man and not just instantly melt, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, an absolute Chadwick right here. I feel bad for any doors he has to open, you know, any people's homes he has to enter. He just rips it off the hinge. I feel bad for him because, you know, he knows how to use a door. It's just, he's such a hunk, an absolute walking testament to man that he just rips it off the door hinges. Melt.
This is Democracy Watch.
I mean, how do you? How do you not melt?
Across the country, I'm going to put on the screen a headline from the Wall Street Journal. Classified whistleblower complaint about Tulsi Gabbard stalls within her agency.
This is insane, dude. This is fucking insane. You have, like, hearing this, it's so classified. It's so damning that we can't even know about it. What is going on?
There was a whistleblower complaint about Tulsi Gabbard that is so secretive, they didn't even know how to get it to Congress, and yet that is being thwarted.
And ladies and gentlemen, I just want to give a shout out to this man too. Now, he may not look like it to the average eye, but to the well-trained individual, to the man and or woman who knows how to perceive well, this is also, they are similar in power level. They are very similar in power level. It may not look like it, but Batman is a chat of democracy.
What can you say about this update?
Well, let me just start with saying
I mean, he's got the fucking Dome of Freedom, for God's sake. That's what we call people who are bald and liberals, the dome of freedom.
Weird shit going on about Tulsi Gabbard. Okay, I mean, we've always known that she is sort of an oddball, even by an administration.
Yeah, dude, she is weird. She's a weird pick. I don't know why Donald Trump thought she would be a good idea. Like, I truly don't.
That looks like the bar scene in Star Wars. She had these
she's not even a good sycophant. You know what I mean?
connections with Russia and Putin. She's had, she was a Democrat, liberal Democrat, and then became a conservative. Like, it's very hard to pin down at any time, like, what exactly she's doing in the administration, at whose behest. They sort of, as it was reported in the newspaper, kept her out of the Venezuela matter because maybe.
Yeah, that was weird to me too, was it not, guys? Like, that was weird that she was kept in complete dark about the Venezuela attack. And if that's the case, then why the fuck isn't Trump getting rid of her? Dude, if I found a rat in my ranks, no way are they staying in the club. If I'm the president and I find out one of my most trusted positions is leaking information, I'm like legitimately leaking information to our foreign adversaries, provably. I mean, just look at the punishment for treason. That's what that is.
Had some, different views or connections there. So let's just put on the table the unspoken thing, which is that it's all just very weird. Now, what can I say about this particular weird thing, which is that there is a whistleblower complaint about the head of national intelligence, okay? The director of national intelligence is subject of a whistleblower complaint that itself is so explosive and so highly classified that they can't even figure out how to transmit the whistleblower complaint to the intelligence committee or the relevant people on Capitol Hill who are supposed to get these whistleblower complaints. I mean, it's like something out of an Orwellian thing where like there's this complaint that is so terrible that they actually can't share the complaint with the people who need to have the complaint. It's like locked in a safe someplace. So that's all we know about it. We don't know what exactly it relates to. We don't know who the whistleblower is. We just know something very, very alarmed someone. And it's so alarming that Tulsi people haven't figured out a way to actually get it in the hands of Congress, which should be alarming to everybody. But Brian, that's not the only weird thing going on. We still have Tulsi Gabbard having a photo of her in the back of an evidence truck, and that's gotten more and more bizarre as the days have gone by.
Right. Can you talk about that update now? Because she was actually on a phone call reportedly during that whole venture. And in fact, the photo that was taken of her shows her on the phone, but we know who she was on the phone with. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so we don't know if she was on the phone with Donald Trump at that moment, but what we do know is two things. Number one, Donald Trump apparently tasked her with this, right? Like that has come out. But the second thing is, apparently after the raid, she dials up the president with the FBI agents who conducted the raid and has him talk to them like on, I guess, like on the speakerphone of her iPhone.
What the hell, dude? This is what I'm saying. Incompetent as all hell. Just blatantly incompetent, dude. Oh my goodness. I mean, can you guys believe this is happening in our republic? It's hard to believe. It truly is.
Talks to the FBI agents who had just conducted this raid. I mean, what the fuck is going on here? Right? Like, we're constantly being told, oh, don't worry, the White House is not at all involved. And you have the director of national intelligence, who Todd Blanche from the Department of Justice says is not involved in the grand jury.
Yeah, we are clear on OPSEC ass, dude. This is hard for me to even, we got past this type of stuff after the Cold War. We figured out how to prevent this type of stuff. But when you have someone who just disregards all advice and just does what he wants, this is what happens. This is, like he said, Orwellian, you know? He makes a good comparison where the secret is so secret that that you can't get it to the people who need to know the secret. I mean, Jesus.
Investigation. And like I said, he told
Foxbox 2879 says MAGA with the Israel and United States flag. I don't know if I were an Israeli, I would be too happy with Donald Trump. To be quite honest, guys, I wouldn't be too happy. I'd want peace in my region, finally, after decades of fighting. I'd want peace, and that's not what Donald Trump is cooking up. But hey, apparently the ceasefire is holding. Now, we could have had that ceasefire a year earlier when Biden handed him one, but Donald Trump said, I want to see more Israelis and Palestinians die.
he made some statements about her that have turned out not to be true, apparently. But the director of national intelligence, who doesn't have anything to do with the grand jury investigation, just happens to be there, dials up the president, and he's like giving a rah-rah halftime speech to the FBI agents.
Yeah.
I mean, where the hell is the outrage here? I mean, this should be the kind of thing that would lead to the impeachment of the president.
We are very happy with him. Both parties love us. Keep aid coming. Well, I do think that Israel is an important asset in the Middle East, but you guys are making yourselves a pariah. And if you do that, then the United States, you're going to quickly find out when you're isolated from everyone and you don't have any support. Well, I love all of our allies, man. And I do want you to know that you're not going to find any of that anti-Semitic bullshit that has happened on both the right and left here. I think it's a nuanced conflict. At the end of the day, I think a two-state solution is just the best solution, but I definitely don't see that happening anytime soon, unfortunately.
This happened with anybody else, but yet here we are.
Well, the reality is that a lot of people kind of watch that story come and go because it happened right around the same time.
Yeah, I don't really talk too much about the Israel-Palestine conflict, I'll be honest. Why we pushed pariah circumcision and... Okay, this person is not real. This is a fake person. This is somebody... Here, I'll tell you who this person is. This is a deeply, deeply anti-Semitic individual who is pretending to be Jewish and pretending to be from Israel. That's what I'm picking up from Foxbox here.
As these ICE shootings that happened around the same time as the Epstein files being released, and I don't know if that was on purpose to obfuscate from what's happening.
We are
Georgia.
Charlie Kirk. Amen.
But the reality is,
yeah, Foxbox. I mean, good little troll there, but I don't think you're helping much with bringing down tensions by pretending to be Israeli.
You and I have spoken quite a bit about the fact that Trump is actually carrying out his plans to rig or interfere in this upcoming election. So can you speak to folks who saw this story and kind of just like on the periphery and don't understand why Trump trying to take ballots from 2020 is significant as he heads toward this process of 2026?
Anyways,
Yeah, so
back to what the video is about. I mean, this really is... how do you... I can't even compare this to anything in recent history, you know? I don't pretend. I don't know, man. You kind of exposed yourself with the message you sent before Charlie Kirk. Just gonna be honest.
Let's just like review the bidding here. Donald Trump has been lying about the 2020 election since 2020, and he's been lying about Fulton County ever since. And so he decides he wants to have the ballots seized as part of a criminal investigation. So, number one, he doesn't go to the U.S. Attorney's Office in Georgia. He doesn't go to Main Justice in Washington, D.C. He goes to a federal prosecutor, a MAGA type in Missouri, and has him get a search warrant to search and seize the ballots in Fulton County, Georgia. Who is present for this? Tulsi Gabbard, the head of the Director of National Intelligence, right? Not Pam Bondi from DOJ, not, Kash Patel from the FBI. Literally a woman who is supposed to be overseeing foreign intelligence relationships with our allies. She's there on her phone.
Yeah, dude, this is not good at all. She's compromised, bro. We gotta get her out of there. She's straight up maybe like revealing secrets that are detrimental to U.S. security. We gotta get her out of there, dude.
In the evidence truck talking to someone. Then she convenes the agents who have conducted this search and puts them on a speakerphone call with the president, who has said he had nothing to do with any of this. Now, as to bring this all back to the beginning of your first question, all this is happening while she is the subject of a whistleblower complaint that is so sensitive, that is so classified, that it cannot even be disclosed to the people in Congress who by law are supposed to be notified. And everybody is supposed to think that what I just described as normal. Everybody is supposed to think, oh, no big deal. President talking to FBI agents in seizure overseen by the Director of National Intelligence, while the Department of Justice is saying she had no role in the grand jury investigation. And by the way,
Trump
there's a whistleblower complaint so confidential
says
and sensitive
FAFO
it can't be
74.
shared on Capitol Hill. Brian, I am telling you, we
ICE.
are in the fight for democracy's life.
FAFO, let's talk about what they're talking about. How do you feel about Tulsi Gabbard being very highly implicated to be a foreign asset? I mean, she has whistleblower complaints. She's already had the stench of Russia. I mean, how do you solve for that, man? How do you just square that in your head that she's okay to have in this position? I really do. I want to know that, because to me, oh my God, I live in a republic, not a democracy. Okay, dumbass. A democracy is where the entire population votes on a rule. Okay. A republic is where we elect people to vote on the rule. No, there's no speculation. There's a whistleblower complaint that is so sensitive that they don't even know how to get it to the people that need to know. No, my friend, you are sorely mistaken. It's not just speculation. Because I listen to fake... Oh my goodness, man. Don't... How about you actually contend? So you're just saying it's all fake news? That's a weak argument. I don't do that. You know, if I'm ever like, oh, I don't like something, I actually like to back it up. Wrong? No, I'm right. You are just misinformed, unfortunately. I don't think you've watched your Fox News of the day, because you're kind of getting owned on this topic. You're not even telling me why I'm wrong. You're just saying wrong, fake news, fake, it's wrong. Like, dude, like I said, it's speculation. No, it's not. It's not speculation. There's actual evidence, as in there is a whistleblower who wants to tell their story, but they consider their information so classified that they are unable to they're unable to relay it to the proper channels. Now, how about you stop insulting me and actually contend with what I'm saying? Anyways, let's continue.
Right now, across this country, We are seeing
Somebody hasn't
the
had their
federal
nicotine
government
for the day.
weaponized against ordinary citizens in Minnesota and elsewhere, against states in efforts to get access to their most sensitive voter records. And now
Democracy is the key to communism? Vladimir Lenin? Okay. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people who have said a lot of things in life. I love my democracy, so get wrecked. And if you want to fuck with my democracy, also known for all my Republican individuals as a republic, then you got another thing coming.
the criminal process against not just his political enemies, but now literally seizing election materials, while the director of national intelligence is tasked by him to be in the state, while the Department of Justice says they don't know why she's there. I mean, none of this adds up. And then on top of that, you have this very confidential filing or document that is so sensitive it can't be shared with Congress.
Well, look, I think that we have seen all of this play out, and obviously legacy media gets distracted. You have been relentlessly focused on Trump's attacks on democracy, his attacks on our elections. Highly, highly, highly recommend for anybody watching right now, if you want to follow along with this stuff, which is foundational.
Wait, what? Hold on. Yeah, he probably doesn't know anything about changing a country political structure. He only did it. Well, do you want what happened in communist Russia to come about? I'm not getting rid of my democracy, so you can suck my cock if you think you're gonna touch my fucking republic. No, my friend.
And is being ignored by legacy media. Please make sure to subscribe.
If you want to live in an autocracy or an oligarchy, go to Russia, dude. I love my fellow Americans, but if they have stopped believing in the democratic ideals, you can leave. Move to Russia. I'm sure they would love to have you. They have a vast disparity of young people, or just people in general. Yeah, you don't have to live in, go see how it is to live under an oligarchy. Go see how free the people of Russia feel. Something tells me you guys don't want to do that. I don't have a wiener. I think I do. Last time I checked. No, obviously true. Democracy is what Lenin was. Okay, I can probably pick like 1,000 different phrases made by Genghis Khan, where he fucking said, I know, you're trying to say democracy is the root of communism. You're trying to say democracy is the root of communism. That's what you're saying. And it's just not true. It's just embarrassing. Like, think of all the other democratic countries that haven't fallen to communism. And this idiot thinks, oh, well, America is gonna... Like, come the fuck on, dude. And also, your comparison isn't even apt, because Imperial Russia was not a fucking democracy. Anyways.
Subscribe to Democracy.
And neither was the Soviet Union. Yeah, once again, Lenin doesn't know anything about communism. I'm not saying that. You're building a straw man and not engaging with my actual arguments. What about all the other democratic countries that haven't fallen to communism? Why is America uniquely adversely affected by that?
News outlet Mark founded to focus on everything voting in elections. I'm going to put that link.
I don't think you know what you're talking about, my friend, and it's quite sad.
Right here on the screen and also in the post description of this video.
Mark. And Brian, I don't want to, throw in one more.
But again, MAGA just throwing random shit out because they're not true to... Okay, this is cope, ladies and gentlemen. This is cope. Well, they're not true democracies. Okay, yes. No, they don't vote exactly on the laws. Oh my god. And here we are, arriving in, but it's a republic, but a true. Oh my goodness. Dude, who gives a fuck? We need more fascism and a totalitarianism. You can get the fuck out of it. Go to Russia, man. If you want to have fascism and totalitarianism take over, you don't have to have it happen in America. You already can have it in Russia, man. Go see how free those people are. You do realize there's not a meaningful difference. No. In the layman's definitions, no, there's not a meaningful difference between a democracy and a republic. One, you vote on the laws. One, you vote on people to vote on the laws. It's not that different. He needs to take Trump with him when he goes to Russia. Oh, definitely.
Sort of scandal.
I will say though, I don't think capitalism is the most evil thing in the world. It just needs guardrails and a good social security net for the people that fall that fall behind, you know. That's it. I don't think we need to seize the means of production or anything like that. I think it's just capitalism unchecked is very bad. That's why we put guardrails on.
But of course, the other thing that was going on at exactly this time, the Epstein files, right? The same Department of Justice that is searching for these ballots, and while Tulsi Gabbard's hanging out in their evidence.
It is, isn't it? No, there's not a meaningful difference, dude. One, you vote on the laws. One, you vote on people to vote on the laws. It's not a meaningful difference. And if this is your only argument against me, then fine, I will concede that a republic and a democracy in terms of wordage are different, in terms of meaning. I don't really agree with any economy structure, but that's probably because I'm poor. Well, I think Americans in general are having a hard time just paying bills right now, so don't worry. I think things will start to be on the upturn, especially after we get these tariffs out of here and stuff like that. AI and pre-recorded. Fuck, you got me, man. How did you know? Anyways.
Truck is releasing 3 million records. At the same time, they're telling us there's 6 million records, but they're only releasing 3 million. Yeah. And like, that's the end of it. We should be okay.
By the way, if you guys are enjoying the stream, please remember to like and subscribe. LOL, there's not in terms of the layman's fucking definition. The layman thinks we exist inside of a democracy, dude. And honestly, if that's our only disagreement, then I don't give a fuck. Fine, we live in a republic there. It's like, if that's what you want to argue about, instead of actually arguing about our the actual issues at hand, then I don't really care. Those that can give up essential liberty to gain little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Well, I think a lot of W12 really wants to debate the meanings of democracy versus republic. Okay, W12, I think you're having a schizophrenic episode right now. But I think a lot of our fellow Americans voted based on lies and misinformation, and I think the vast majority of Americans don't agree with what's happening, and you see that in the poll numbers. So I can't imagine. I do have a little forgiveness for my fellow MAGA and anybody who has become disenfranchised with who have just become disenfranchised with the political system. A true democracy. Yeah, I think People5699 puts up a great point. It's literally the same with an extra step.
And then we learned that among the 3 million records they released, they not only over-redacted to protect a bunch
bro,
of men.
why do you give so much of a fuck? I think it's because you're terrified to actually talk about the actual issues at hand, because you know your guy is actually failing on almost almost across the board.
But they didn't redact a bunch of victim information. I mean, I know that this sounds disconnected, but these are the same jokers in each of these things. Like, it's the same people doing all of these things. And, you know, which is to cover up for which, I can't tell you. But I can tell you that, like I said, democracy is hanging by a thread, and we are in the fight for our life.
Jesus Christ. One of the biggest bootlicking names I've ever seen in my life. Don't F with ICE. I mean, come on. Can you lick the boot even harder? Like, have you gotten all the mud and scum off the bottom of their boot yet?
Lives, and everybody needs to be engaged in this, paying attention to all of it. It feels like a lot. It feels.
Oh, your guy is Trump. You like Donald Trump. There's almost no way in hell you don't. That's the only people who are like, no, it's actually a republic. And I think it comes from a deep insecurity that Republicans have, that they know they're not fighting for democracy right now. They're not fighting for their republic right now. And so they want the people to associate the republic with them, not the Democrats. How do you know that? Because they're the only ones that make the distinction.
It's like sometimes too much to cover. But one way you can stay up to date on what you need to know is by subscribing to this channel, because Brian will keep you up to date every day on the most important issues in politics and democracy.
Well, I appreciate
God
that.
bless.
I'm put the link to subscribe to this channel right here on the screen and also in the post description. Mark, if you were speaking to members of the House Intelligence Committee, for example, the people who are supposed to be the recipient.
Remember when we scammed about it? Okay, what about, hold on. There are just as many Republicans in the Epstein files as there is Democrats, hairy toe face. Trump is the president of the United States. I never cared about the Epstein files. This is their classic cope. Well, fuck it. I care about it now. How do you contend with it?
Of these whistleblower complaints, what would you ask them?
Why is it always Democrats who are because we actually believe in our rights and liberties.
I'd say just go get the document. I mean, do your job.
Yeah.
I realize that Republicans run the show, but Republicans, you were sent to Washington, D.C.
What Republicans? Steve Bannon. What? He is all over the Epstein files, my friend. Prove it to me. What Republican's basement got Steve Bannon? How do you solve for Steve Bannon?
To do the bare minimum of your job.
And Steve Bannon's a big one. Steve Bannon was the one who astroturfed most of your guys' points. So the fact that he's in there is huge, actually.
come to expect very little from you. One thing we have come to expect from you, though, is that if there is a blockbuster...
Howard Lutnick? I know Howard Lutnick is in there. These are just off the top of my head.
Breach or complaint or whistleblower document, against a high-ranking official, that you'd at least...
I mean, obviously Donald Trump, but you guys will rhinos, Republicans in name only, Howard Lutnick and Steve Bannon? Bro, you have no idea what you're talking about. Who is Steve Bannon? Who is, you really don't, the owner of Breitbart News? One of Donald Trump's closest allies in his 2016 presidency? And remember, Epstein and Bannon were hanging out during the tenure that Donald Trump and Bannon were working together. Interesting, huh?
Read it. Like, just go read it. Go tell them you'll go to their skiff. You'll go to their office, whatever it is, but that you have to see it. Because honestly, if you're a Republican member...
Who is he now? Still a very big person on the right. He still owns Breitbart News. He still shows up on podcasts all the time. He still talks to Donald Trump. I mean, come on. This is some crazy cope. The Epstein files exonerate Trump. No, they don't. That is misinformation. Do you want me to bring up the files? You still have not condemned? Yes, I have, dude. Any Democrats in the Epstein files should be locked up just like the Republicans in there. Now, you guys do the same. Why don't you do the same? No, he is not. Yes, he is. You can deny it all you want. You can call them rhinos, until you're blue in the face. But as a matter of fact, can you find a single piece of evidence? Yeah, they're still going through the files, my friend, but there's multiple tips. There are interesting call logs. Mar-a-Lago was in Epstein's contact book. Anyways, Bannon does not own Breitbart anymore. All right, thank you for letting me know.
On one of these committees, and you're not willing to do
Let me look that up.
You are worse than useless. You are worse than just the sheep that go along with the rest of Donald Trump stuff. You're not even willing to protect our national security, our nation's secrets, which I'm guessing are the reason why this is such a confidential document.
Right. And for those Democrats, look, if the tables were turned and Republicans wanted to get access to something...
My apologies. It is now owned by Larry Solov and Alex Marlowe, with Winton Hall and managing editor.
Like this, even from the minority, they would be able to do it. I mean, look at all.
Could you just imagine if Joe Biden? Just for a moment, imagine if.
Okay, you're gonna trust Epstein and Maxwell versus multiple victims just because one victim exonerated him after she was getting multiple death threats from people. Yeah, I can see why she probably exonerated him. Oh, and by the way, she killed herself. Virginia Giuffre, she killed herself. Mentioned evidence, and Trump said, okay, yeah, we can do that. One moment. I need to go to my links here. One moment, gamers. One moment, my gamers in Christ. I'm just getting it by, I'm just getting it up in here for you. Come on, DOJ, hurry up. Sorry, it may get a little quiet as I bring up the links here. Well, actually, hold on. Once we're done with this, we'll bring it up because we are going to be talking about the Epstein files in the next video. So I'll bring it up then, but hey, there it is. Look at that. CoffeeZilla's got a really nice looking place there. Epstein is still alive. That is a conspiracy that I have no idea how to even contend with. If you believe that, man, you're so deep, I don't know how to save you. Well, we're going into Voidzilla here, and he's going to be talking about the Epstein files, and he'll bring up all the evidence for you. But you guys are extremely like, I'm willing to say if Bill Clinton is in there, George Clooney, anyone, then they deserve the... Wait, what? Where's the evidence? You bailed? Well, no, we're going to be talking about it here, man. I want to get done with this video.
Biden was in office.
Yeah.
And some
I promise you, I will bring up the evidence here in a moment.
I was drunk at a bar and I heard that Hunter Biden was in the booth, three tables down. The Republicans on Capitol Hill would be hosting, they'd be like insisting that there's a cover up and I mean, you can imagine, right?
There would be like a sleep in on the House floor until they got that whistleblower complaint.
And I'll bring up links and stuff from the DOJ. I think this is a very important story that we started talking about here. Get on with it then. Yeah, sure you will. I'm not full of hate. You guys are the ones screaming in my chat. I won't talk about anything. Oh my god, you are so sad, dude. It's just sad. If Trump had evidence against him, no, it wouldn't have. There was an active investigation during Biden's presidency. That ended with Donald Trump releasing telling Pam Bondi to release a 2-page memo that said there was nothing in the files. That's what
a telethon on Fox News where people just call in all hours of the night. I mean, it would never end.
Well, you know why you don't see any Dems with signs saying Bill Clinton is a PDF? Because Donald Trump is the fucking president, you moron. I don't know how more clear. He's the fucking president, you idiot. God, what is this like? You guys don't understand like what fame is. I don't get it.
This drum until
more important than... Yes, I would say it's more important than that. You have evidence that Tulsi Gabbard is conspiring with foreign adversaries. What are you talking about? What? An active investigation? You don't say. Yeah, it all ended with Donald Trump. You realize that, right?
Until we were just
No, there's evidence incriminating him.
Exhausted of hearing about it, and they keep going. And
you guys are kind of beating yourself to the horse.
Just in the because they know how to weaponize and distract as far as the media is concerned. They're able to perpetuate this Steve Bannon model of flooding the zone with shit, hoping that we don't recognize what's happening.
Not as famous as the fucking president of the United States, and that doesn't even count because he was a president of the United States. Yes, Bill is famous. I'm saying you should arrest Bill. But you don't have such huge opposition to saying arrest Bill as you do Donald Trump. Because you guys are so willing to defend Donald Trump, but also so willing to condemn Bill Clinton. I'm just saying have that same energy for your own guy. It's not mental gymnastics, Harry Toeface. Alright, so W12, thank you so much for your advice on what to do with my show. But if you want to start your own show and do your own thing, I'd recommend that because your advice really isn't needed. Thank you. God, that shit's so annoying.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And so, look, we cannot get distracted from.
God, he's like, do it, do what I want. It's like, shut up,
What is
bro.
happening to our country? We
Not
cannot
gonna
get
do what
distracted
you want.
from the fact that Donald Trump is attacking his political enemies. He's now going after members of the media with Don Lemon. He is using the federal government
do you guys
to
hear
try
that?
to take over voting. He is.
Obama could have released them all the way back. Well, I mean, to be honest, I think the nation was a lot more concerned about other things. If they had proof, oh my god, I already addressed that. But you guys will just have to go back in the live. Obama isn't nearly on the Epstein list as much as other politicians. I'm sorry, I haven't seen any news of Obama partaking in any of those parties. I mean, Elon Musk is in the Epstein list. Aren't you guys home dogs with Elon Musk? Isn't Elon Musk like your dog?
Deploying his paramilitary forces in cities like Minneapolis. And now you have a potential blockbuster complaint by a whistleblower and a system that was set up to protect those whistleblowers. That was
No, you know why you're done, Harry Toeface? Because you got absolutely destroyed. And that's okay. That's okay, man. We all take L's on the internet.
Up to make sure that responsible act.
Bro, what are you doing? How has Elon Musk been exonerated? He literally sent a email to Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, so you guys are just not very well informed. Okay. Thank you for just telling me. Yes, Elon Musk is in the files.
Actors got their hands on it.
Sending a message to... I actually don't have that, so let me bring it up for you guys, since you guys don't want to... I'll drag you into the light if nobody else will. A list of powerful men named in the Epstein files, from Elon Musk to former Prince Andrew. Sarah Ferguson, Elon Musk, Richard Branson. Oh, look, Donald Trump. I mean, but we all knew about that. Bill Clinton, Stephen Tisch, no idea who that is. Casey Wasserman, Larry Summers. Oh, that's not good. Howard Lutnick. Oh, that's Trump's Commerce Secretary. No, he didn't, my friend. You have no idea what you're talking about. And that's embarrassing. I have a hard time dissecting the Epstein emails. Yeah, these guys are weird. These guys are weird. Like, the Epstein class is fucking disgusting. And they don't know how to talk to people. It's very strange. I don't even know why they're millionaires.
Is being frustrated by this administration. And we just cannot let that happen. So we all need to stay on top of this story. Best way that I know to do it is to follow this channel and hit the bell, because you want to make
That's
sure you get
proof you don't... Okay, so which is it? Are you against the mainstream media, or are you for the mainstream media? Like, what is it, man? President of Duke University is in the files as well. Send him to prison! Right now, nothing's happening, which Voidzilla will talk about here, but right now, nothing's happening.
It only gets worse from here. We're going back into the 3 million documents. So far, we mostly covered how billionaires lied about their relationship with Epstein and or got blackmailed in the drafts, eventually killing their marriage. We talked about Howard Lutnick, how he lied about meeting Epstein, although he still denies this. And we also talked about some horrible...
That's your guys' Commerce Secretary. I mean, he's mine too, but... Yeah, I think all of them should go. Bag and tag, well, I think there should be a trial at least.
Against Trump and Bill Clinton, although we were clear.
What the
that
fuck
they
are you talking
unverified.
about? Epstein invited Musk. No, Elon did not blow him off. Elon sent him a message saying he wants to go to the wildest parties on his island.
Now, some people have responded to the release, like Elon Musk.
Things are not great. And I find it interesting that you derive joy from your fellow American being in pain. I think that's sad. I care about my fellow Americans. You seem not to.
Saying that no one fought harder for the full release of the Epstein files than I did. Ironically, he claims that he knew that the playbook of the far left propagandists and legacy media is admit nothing, deny everything, and making counter accusations, saying he had never set foot on Epstein's creepy island or attended parties, despite the fact we saw last time that Elon was asking to be invited to the party.
Oh, listen to that. Elon was asking to be invited to the parties.
What day night would be the wild?
Oh, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This is from the Epstein files. To Jeffrey Epstein at jevacation@gmail.com. LOL, bro, you are dumb. Yeah, typically the person calling the other person dumb is not exactly winning the argument, I'd say. But look at this. Look at this. What day/night will be the wildest party on your island? How do you solve for that? How do you justify that in your head? I kind of want to know. Is that just like, how do you do that? What, Harry Toeface, you were talking about mental gymnastics. So why don't you show me the mental gymnastics you're about to go through to defend Elon Musk?
This party on your island. Nevertheless, I think it's an interesting point. The playbook, as we get into this much darker.
She never said that, and that diary was stolen from her by the Republicans. So, one, she never wanted that information to be public, and two, she never accused him of that. You're just making up things.
Side of the 3.5
But
billion
look at
files.
that. I don't have to lie. These people have to lie to defend their stuff.
You're going to notice this trend is true, that everyone
Told
will.
you he asked. Oh, yeah, he definitely asked. Technician. Yeah, he definitely asked to be part of the parties. Notice that all of MAGA has just suddenly disappeared. Where'd they go? Huh. Once they saw that, they were like, oh shit, we gotta make up something new. Trump sucks. Amen, dude. He is a loser. By the way, if you guys are enjoying the stream, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And gets my viewership out there. Yeah, she wrote it in her diary that was stolen by the Republicans. And she never accused him of rape, my friend. You're just making shit up. Once again,
they deny
the Republicans, they have to make shit up to defend their
everything,
viewpoints.
and then they usually make counter accusations against other people in the files. Almost no one has faced any kind of consequences for this whole thing, leading me to wonder, why is it that it seems like really only in the rest of the world has anyone faced anything? I mean, you've got the former Prince Andrew losing his title. You've got the
I do disagree with you on that, technician. I mean, you have the Democrats fighting for all of the files to be released. Meanwhile, you have Republicans like Donald Trump calling them a hoax.
Slovakia National Security Advisor resigning over the Epstein links. But in America, I'm really
And Ben Smith, I totally understand that. A lot of people, the Democrats haven't had the most amazing news coverage. And that's because the Republicans have a giant right-wing media apparatus that is almost all-encompassing. And so we're fighting against that right now. They had 12 years to release. Well, number one, during the Obama administration, Yeah, I wasn't really around for that point of politics, I'll be honest. But what I do know is that during Obama's tenure, it was, oh, who was it? I can't quite remember the name, but somebody had given them a sweetheart deal. So, Alex Acosta, there you go. Alex Acosta gave him a sweetheart deal, and it just wasn't in the national uh, consciousness during the time. And then during Biden's presidency, there was an active investigation going on.
Pressed to think of anyone who has actually faced any kind of accountability. I think Larry Summers stepped back voluntarily, but other than that, it's hard to think of anyone who's faced any kind of justice. In fact, arguably, Ghislaine Maxwell's life is better than it was previously since these Epstein files have dropped. And what's crazy about this is that we know that the government story is false. Remember, the FBI documents showed they had 10 co-conspirators they were investigating. We also got an old draft of an indictment where they had several co-defendants with Epstein. Now, of course, we know these were never ultimately charged. This was back in 2005, but just imagine all the way back in 2005, where these charges are from, we already had evidence that Epstein was not working alone, and of course he's not. But now we're gonna talk a little bit about how the scheme operated. Now, to be clear, we're gonna talk in a second about the laundering of Epstein's reputation, the people who protected him this whole time. But right now, I wanna talk about how Epstein got some of these girls in the first place, because the Epstein files provide an interesting look behind the curtains. Obviously, we know Ghislaine Maxwell was helping, whether it be procure the girls, talk them into stuff. But now we have emails of a different side of the scheme. It says, yesterday I spoke to Daniel Syed, who Jean-Luc Brunel describes as a scout or recruiter of girls or women for Jeffrey Epstein. Attached to this incoming email from Brunel is the contact information he has for Syed. And then they blacked out his number and email. But digging into Jeffrey's emails with Daniel shows that he was constantly sending him links to girls. It shows Jeffrey Epstein paying Daniel 3,000 euros, which, to be clear, was the amount that was agreed to by Jean-Luc Brunel. Quote, Dominique, we will pay him 3,000 euros each month for scouting.
Hey, later,
for a 6-month
technician.
period.
Hope you have a good day,
On
man.
all models we will get him, we will pay him 5% commission on their earnings. Imagine it's like baseball or it's like basketball. You're scouting for, I hate to use the word talent, but that's really what this guy was doing. He was going around the globe trying to find people for Jeffrey Epstein and Jean-Luc Brunel. According to one lawsuit, Epstein trafficked a Jane Doe to Jean-Luc Brunel many times. It describes their operation as
That
this.
scared
Many
the
of
shit
girls
out of
came
me,
from
that
poor
beep. Holy fuck.
countries or impoverished backgrounds. He lured them in with a promise of making good money. Quote, Brunel has been a model scout for various modeling agencies for many years, and he was apparently able to get U.S. passports for young girls to work as models, eventually, of course, being sent to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, it should be noted that Jean-Luc Brunel himself died in prison by hanging, and that's while he was being accused of horrible crimes related to trafficking and minors. So this guy is not a good guy. He was part of the op along with Daniel Syed, who was also scouting on behalf of Epstein and Jean-Luc Brunel.
By the way, if you
at
guys
their
are enjoying
agreement.
the stream,
Here's a
please
sample of
remember
how
to
this
like
would
and
work.
subscribe.
Jeffrey
It really
Epstein
helps out
asked
the
him
channel.
to take a full body shot of someone. Daniel Syed says, now she is really skinny, I will do Polaroid. Jeffrey Epstein asks for a copy of her passport and then asks, how many tickets do you want for Woody, meaning Woody Allen? He says 2. Okay, thank you. Full body if possible. And
I
then
mean,
Jeffrey
we
Epstein
all-
says, doesn't
Ew, what the fuck? We all knew that fucking Woody Allen was a disgusting freak. So, no surprise there. Just an absolute weirdo, Woody Allen is, dude.
look too happy. Comments on her body, and then he says she is very sweet. I'll skip a few of the sordid details here. They comment about her body extensively, and then Jeffrey Epstein says, I sent a request. Does she want to come out to Paris on Sunday? He says, I will invite to come. And this is basically how it worked. Daniel Syed flew around the world looking for women, sending photos to Jeffrey Epstein, who then would get copy of their passports and bring him to the States. Here's an example of this. Daniel Syed brings him a girl. They didn't redact this name, but I'm going to do it. He says, very nice, easygoing, dream to work in United States or visit the United States working as a model in Dubai. He asks age. Daniel says 22 or 23. I forgot to ask her. She looks younger. I have her number if you want to call her. She was going to send this evening. And this happens over and over. At one point, he talks about a Thai actress. Jeffrey Epstein says he can see her on Wednesday, and then he complains that she
Well,
wants to meet
seems
in a
like
restaurant.
MAGA
I don't do
scattered
that in New
away.
York.
So interesting. You bring up the Epstein files and they scatter like a bunch of bugs. Yee! Very sad in my opinion, but oh well.
And then says she didn't even respond. Not nice. The point is, a lot of these girls were looking to come to the United States for one reason or another, for some kind of dream. They would ask for passports or visas, and then ultimately get sent here by this network of people who would later be accused of trafficking or other abuses. Now, to be clear, there have not been charges against Daniel Syed, and the government, remember, says they have no evidence to go even predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. So it's a little bit bizarre to be reading about this scouting operation for Jeffrey Epstein, the way he recruited girls, and then be told, yeah, nothing to see here. Yeah, one of the scouts was like this, like, who himself in jail. But no, there's no one else here, even though there's definitely guys floating around. Even though we literally have redacted defendants in our old draft of an indictment.
Yeah,
We have
think
nothing-
about this. This directly goes against the Epstein Transparency Act, ladies and gentlemen. It directly goes against it by hiding the co-conspirators. Just absolute betrayal of trust.
thing to do. We can't possibly imagine doing anything. And that brings me to one of the frustrating parts of these whole files is the redactions. I mean, I know I've been over this, but it's a different thing. In the past, the files were sort of overly redacted to protect people. The problem this time is not only are a lot of people still being protected, like literally the names of the people they were going to charge, you couldn't argue those are victims, but the work was just done so sloppy that oftentimes you'll find that the DOJ has uploaded 2 documents that are functionally identical, and they redacted one but not the other, letting you see what's ultimately behind the mask, which is dumb because sometimes the thing they're redacting is Jeffrey Epstein's name, or other times it's somebody who
Whoa. They're hiding Jeffrey. What? That's kind of insane. That is pretty damning in my opinion. If I mean, why would they redact Jeffrey Epstein's name? That doesn't make any sense.
clearly is not a victim, because then you see the non-redacted copy and you're like, yeah, that's clearly not a victim. So it's a little strange what they seem to have done here. Let me give you a for instance. So we have this message from somebody whose name is blacked out, and we see participants, and then we see Jeffrey Epstein is involved, right? And it says, we need to work around your 38. We need to push back on the lies, then crush the pedo trafficking narrative, then rebuild your image as a philanthropist. Now, I want to know.
Because you viewed the files.
doing
I'm
that?
telling you, that's why. Yeah, MAGA is afraid. They're afraid of the files. What's up, by the way, Lazy Lawnmower? I like your name. It's a cool name. I can't lie. Lazy Lawnmower rolls off the tongue very well.
Who's trying to rebuild Jeffrey Epstein's image, right? Well, we go ahead, we scroll down, and we see that Jeffrey Epstein sends something. He says, in any bar where drinking age is 18, and you see the participant is once again blacked out. But underneath it, in a separate file, we see Steve Bannon, a famous political figure, is in here, and he's saying the same thing. He says, first...
Dude, Steve Bannon is he is a gross dude. After discovering some of the stuff we've discovered in the files, he is a bad man. Fitting for one of the Republicans' top ideological contributors. Oh my God, what is this? No, sir. No, sir. What? What is happening? Holy shit. Do you guys see this? Look in your bottom right. You will see horror. I have never seen this. I mean, how do you even fight this? You got to, though. You got to. Oh, I failed to cast the spell, huh? Alright, and then we cast Wild Weeping Wound. Oh, no, that's not what we need to cast. Earth Heal, that's what we need to cast. Thank you. Alright, let's go, you fucks. You really want to do this? You want to tango? I can fucking tango. Okay, let's continue though.
We need to push back on the lies, then crush the trafficking narrative, then rebuild your image as a philanthropist. Guys, why did you censor out his name? Or like, why was that censored at all? I don't understand. And I certainly don't understand why Jeffrey Epstein's name in this one is censored. So Jeffrey's not censored in this one, but Bannon is. And then Bannon's not censored in this one, and Epstein is. And sometimes this creates the bizarre impression that they are censoring for victim names or for some like kind of victim status or for some reason. And then you see the other file and you're like, wait, why did you do this? It's just very poorly done throughout. That's just something I wanted to comment on, is not only did they once again not fully redact things because they were sloppy, but also like victims' names got stuck in this. Like girls' names appear sometimes, and like I'm not sure, are they supposed to be redacted? Because they're redacted over here, they're not over here. I can kind of figure out who it is. It's just kind of a mess. I needed to point that out. You know, other times we have things like this, like Brock Pierce, a co-founder of
Always
Tether,
good
also
to
known as
hear
the
this,
biggest
you know, this type of review from our DOJ, you know. These are the people we trust with our, well, with much of our national security, and I am just so glad to hear they're so incompetent. It just isn't that great, guys. Don't lie, I know you guys are excited about that. I'm gonna sleep behind this rock. Yeah, this seems like a nice rock.
Stablecoin in the world. He sent a message to Jeffrey Epstein with the subject line Anastasia, and then it's just a bunch of redacted stuff with a few untitled JPEGs in here. And so, you know,
Do
you're
I
thinking to
like
yourself,
water?
what is this?
Well, let me think about that for a moment. You know what? I'm gonna say yes. I'm a big fan of water. I've been an advocate of water for a really long time, so I'd say I'm a big fan of water. How about you? Are you a big fan of water, the speaker of purity?
He's sending some illicit media? Like, what is this? Well, then we have this page where it wasn't redacted. I put
How is Trump
that
hurting
little
America?
dark square that I didn't.
Well, he's hurting America in multiple ways. Number one, he is constantly using divisive language that divides Americans and makes Americans feel more isolated than from their countrymen. So that's number one. That's one of my biggest complaints, is he just doesn't act like a fucking president. Number two, he's destroying America's world image on the world stage and actively trying to make it a multipolar world order instead of the unipolar world order, which we greatly benefit from. I mean, there's more stuff, but those are probably the first ones that come to mind. Policy-wise, I mean, his policy is horrible. Instead of actually getting it through the Congress, he just passes executive orders, which can be reversed in the next presidency. He doesn't make meaningful change.
Didn't know if this should have been redacted or not. It's like a bunch of JPEGs. Now, does that contain victims? Is Brock Pierce sending photos of victims? I don't know, because of the way the government did this. But underneath, it says, "The Ukraine is now my favorite country," smiley face, Brock Pierce, with the subject line, Anastasia. I don't know what to make of that. I'm just saying, the redactions, like the way they did this, is not good. But now let's return to Steve Bannon and his "we're gonna crush the trafficking" narrative. Because this guy,
Okay, well, if it's for entertainment, then, well, no, he's not making, we're gonna get treated less well. You know? If instead of treating us fairly, they're going to treat China more fairly, or Russia. Do you want Russia or China to be in charge of the world? I don't. And divisive language, if it's for his entertainment, then he needs to cut it the fuck out, because it's making a lot of Democrats feel like he's going to actively try to kill us.
Revealed in the files to being like Jeffrey's right-hand PR
By the way, if you guys are enjoying the
this
stream,
guy
please
was
remember to
filming
like and
basically a
subscribe. It really
documentary
helps out the channel.
about Jeffrey
I do a
Epstein
show
in order
every
to
day where I talk about the
rehabilitate
news,
his
politics,
image.
and so much
And
more.
some of it has actually leaked to the
So
public.
please
It's been
give a
interesting
sub
to
if
watch
you feel
how
like
that's
it.
been received. But the funny thing is that originally Jeffrey Epstein's plan was to just do a YouTube video, like an apology, like a old school 2016 turn on the camera for authenticity and saying,
No, the left does not do it nearly as much as the right. That's cope. Trump is rebuilding and re-clarifying after the Democrats sold out America. See, this is the thing. You guys think America was like doing horribly and that everything was bad. Like, do you guys forget how America, being the unipolar world order, being the leader of the unipolar world order, Democrat? No, my friend, that is Republicans who have a big pedo problem. Oh, and trust me, I know that in reality, Donald Trump wants a divisive nation because that is how he gets elected. USA was terrible before Trump. All right, so you just hate America. You think the USA sucks and there's nothing good or redeeming about the last even 20 years. All right, got you. Charlie Kirk comparison to Nazis all the time? I don't know what you're talking about. I thought what happened to Charlie Kirk was a tragedy, and anybody celebrating it, I don't personally agree with them. Trump, Epstein, Clinton. How about Lutnick, Trump, Elon Musk? There's a bunch. No, you're right. It's not a right versus left thing. Now it's a money versus the average person type thing. And Donald Trump is going to enrich the people with money, not your average person. Sorry to say.
you know, he says, do you think I can do my own video interview and upload it to YouTube? No sandbagging, interview format, or like a diary piece. Steve Bannon
Big Grape
says if
fan
you
is
do
having a schizophrenic break right now, which is all right. We appreciate those. To the speaker, I see Trump as more of a business economist than a real president. I would probably hire him as then vote for him as president. I mean, yeah, I could see that. The issue with Trump is if he had went down that path, I don't think he'd be the same person he is today, you know. I think he'd be a lot more reserved and Trump and okay, that's some amazing cope. All right, Big Grape fan. You seem to be the one who doesn't care about that. I'm sorry.
Interview, it can't be like Johnny does a YouTube. It has to be amazingly professional and perfectly cut. Then Jeffrey Epstein responds, Woody, we assume Woody Allen, because they were close, said he would help edit. Not sure how to stage, what points to make. But better than trying to do an interview that I have no experience doing. Goal is to humanize the monster. Anything written carries little weight. To which Steve Bannon replies, yes, Jeffrey Epstein. Should it be an interview format, interviewed by me? They start talking about, like, how do we do this? Humor, apology, how did I get rich? Question mark, topics. Their brainstorming, how do we trick the public into seeing me as more than a monster? Now, funny enough, right before this, Jeffrey Epstein asks about a dinner with Woody. And then he says, or too many pedos in one place. And you gotta love the self-awareness there. Now, I don't know what he meant by
Kamala
that.
would have
To be
been
clear, I'm
much
not making an
worse.
accusation
I
against Woody Allen.
disagree.
We'll talk about him in a second. That's Jeffrey Epstein saying that. I think what's interesting to point out, though, is how all these rich and powerful people are circling the wagons to try to protect
I kind of
Jeffrey
agree with you, the
Epstein's
speaker of purity.
reputation, right? This is a guy who, at this point, has been known for years to have pled guilty to these 2008
Representation of the people. Hey, Eric, I'm down for that. I don't like the idea of one person having too much power. I'm cool with that. Having a collective leadership rather than just a singular person be our leader. I think that's great.
charges. This was an open secret. And so Steve Bannon goes along, though, anyways, and he films this documentary. Now, what's interesting is he starts talking about the documentary, and he starts saying, I'm watching our second hour now. Guys were blown away. I didn't think it was as strong at the time, but I was wrong. Need huge part about threat of AI versus reality, threat of climate change. And this is where the notes start going back and forth of how can we get you to think of other things? So part of the conceit of this big interview of Jeffrey Epstein was to try to humanize him and actually present him as this genius, everyman, quirky guy with a few flaws, right? They knew they couldn't run away from the crimes. To quote, in Bannon's words, yes, 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 of course, but we must counter rapists who traffics in female children to be raped by world's most powerful, richest men. That can't be redeemed. Can't redeem the unredeemable. You are a lot of things which we will show, but you are not that. Bannon is aware that, like, they can't fully embrace the Epstein thing. They have to kind of make it about more than that. And if you see the YouTube clip going around, that's what that is. And it's been so interesting to watch the reaction because you see, even for people who've been prepped with the idea that this is basically propaganda, some of them still fall for it. They post things like, you know, oh, bro is casually confirming the world's conspiracies because he's talking about 2008. But guys, that's the whole deception. They're like trying to be like, hey, this guy, this horrible monster, he's going to tell you the secrets of the inside club. So you think more, that's the whole thing. That's how they're getting away with this. It's not some kind of, oh, he happened to want to talk about this. This is all premeditated. This has gone through revisions. They even called Jeffrey Epstein the smartest guy in the room.
Look, you're the smartest guy in the room, right? You know that.
It's honestly ridiculous anyone believes the false conceit of, you're obviously the smartest man in the room. You could tell us the world's secrets. I mean, this guy, honestly, he talks about some of his engagements, like with the Rockefeller board, and he tries to say that owning a calculator is why he got that.
It was very advanced in those days to have a Texas Instrument calculator, where it could, by putting in the numbers, it would multiply for you to do square roots. And that was the first, and everyone who had a calculator was already advanced on Wall Street. The most important parts of business were really now going to calculations. Places like Rockefeller needed someone to say, look, we're entering a different world where numbers and the numbers of companies, portfolio management was going to be balanced. It was going to be statistical. Jeffrey, could you come on the board, potentially sit on the finance committee?
By the way, if you guys disagree with me and you want to have a debate, I have my Discord linked there. Now, unfortunately, most of Trump's faithful are indeed keyboard warriors, so we may not get anybody today, but we hope.
Supposed to believe that Jeffrey Epstein got onto this prestigious Rockefeller board because he had a calculator, but also that he's the smartest guy in the room, the smartest man on Wall Street. And let's not talk about those horrific crimes he committed because, you know, he's not really such a bad guy after all. But it wasn't just Steve Bannon that was trying to humanize or giving advice on how to humanize Epstein. It was also Richard Branson, the famous billionaire. He was
Oh my God, Pierre Powers. What democratic lies, bro. God, I see this all the time. They're like, the democratic lies! And it doesn't even compare to what Trump has lied about. They don't care about, you don't care about a politician lying to you, dude. Stop being disingenuous. You just want them to say the things you believe in. You know, stop lying to yourself. It's just embarrassing. We can all see it. You know what I mean? Like, you're not fooling anybody. You're not, you really aren't, man. Anyways, you're not convincing anybody, I'll tell you that
Not
much.
emailing Jeffrey Epstein saying, "Dear Jeffrey, it was really nice seeing you yesterday. The boys in water sports can't stop speaking about it. Anytime you are in the area, would love to see you as long as you bring your harem." I don't know, that's not that ambiguous, guys. I think we can imagine what that means. But anyways, he says, one, I think if Bill Gates was willing to say that you've been a brilliant advisor to him, that you slipped up many years ago by sleeping with a 17-and-a-half-year-old and were punished for it, that you've more than learned your lesson and have done nothing that's against the law since. And yes, as a single man, you have a penchant for women, but there's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, something along those lines. He's giving him PR advice. How to get your reputation back. Hey, Jeffrey, privately, I loved you. You can come back anytime with your harem. Jeffrey Epstein responds, nice seeing you. Thanks for your hospitality. I appreciate your public relations thoughts. Now, according to the New York Times, a Branson representative said the two had a business meeting and stressed the women were adults and had not attended the meeting. All above board. That's what everyone says, by the way. Remember what Elon Musk said, right? That's the playbook. Admit nothing, deny everything. Speaking of, remember Howard Lutnick, who we showed on video saying that he had never seen Epstein since 2005.
So I was never.
Oh, geez. You know the people that call other people sheep and slaves are actually the ones with the most misinformation. I'm sorry, but we watch rightoid influencers very frequently on this channel, so I don't know what lies I'm not being exposed to.
Ever in the room with him socially, for business, or for even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
Although also calling him the
He's
greatest
icky.
blackmailer ever.
This guy was the greatest blackmailer ever.
Well, also according to the Times, Lutnick said he spent zero time with him, even though there are emails basically
lobby
to the
would you have to
contrary,
join?
where Epstein is saying,
Just join the waiting room. Right there, and I'll drag you into the void. What do you want to be? Yeah, I guess I can. Yeah. One moment. I'm gonna get up and get a drink real quick. Join the waiting room, and we can discuss some things.
nice seeing you after the conviction. I mean, these people, not only are they lying, they won't even admit when they've been caught lying. But now let's talk about Prince Andrew, too, who was caught lying over a woman at some kind of a party. I mean, just not a good, this is not doing you any favors, you know. I know Prince Andrew soon will probably be on the comeback tour. It's going to be a bunch of highly paid PR execs.
You are far on the right side and proud of it, and even I know Trump isn't good for America. Well, I appreciate that, you know, a lot of people, they feel like they're unable to actually admit when they're wrong, and even just admit when their side isn't doing the right stuff. So that's that takes a lot, and I'd be proud of myself for that.
Maybe
Pierre, I'm not saying Democrats aren't on the list. Who do you think is the worst person to have lived? Probably Hitler. Yeah, he was a pretty bad dude.
Steve
He was a meanie, I'm not gonna lie. All right, but we do have somebody in the waiting room, so I'm gonna drag him in here. This is Sparkman. Hello, Sparkman. How are you doing today?
Hey, pretty good. Yourself?
I'm doing pretty well. So you disagree that Trump is not hurting America, or what did you want to kind of talk about?
I don't think he's necessarily purposely trying to hurt America. There might be some growing pains along the way, but I
So,
don't know
like,
about purpose.
how is so expand upon that, right? Because I think that Donald Trump only really cares about himself and his
What would he
cohort,
stand to gain from
essentially.
only caring about himself?
Well, I mean, we see what he stands to gain in his wealth. He's doubled his
What is that?
he's doubled his net worth since he's been in the White House.
Yes. But what good would all that money be for him if he's not spending it to finance other people that work for him, which are feeding multiple other families? I trickle down, obviously, but and
Yeah, so you kind of answered it yourself with that trickle down. This isn't wealth that he is putting back into the community. It is wealth that he's hoarding so that he can be rich. He's not thinking
and
about the average American when he's hoarding this wealth. And any byproduct of his spending is going to pale in comparison to how much he's actually stolen, and how much stolen is how much he has actually acquired from being in the presidency.
I, hmm, I don't know. I wonder all the time between whether or not a billionaire is like doing it for excess greed, or like that's just what they gotta try and bring home the bacon so everyone else can earn that
Well,
income. I'm like,
I don't
yeah,
really have an issue. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I don't really have an
you're good.
issue personally with like rich people. I do think billionaires are kind of, billionaires are they live in a different world, but I don't necessarily have an issue with billionaires. I think the guardrails that were designed to prevent people from gaining all this wealth and
Yeah, like
not
that's a
distributing it into
big,
the community is the issue.
yeah,
What's up?
yeah. I do agree. There's definitely an excess that's unnecessary that should
Right?
definitely.
It's like you see a fucking Jeff Bezos and he's funding like rocket missions, and it's just crazy. So personally, to
What
address
good is all that
that,
going to be going to? Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Sorry to
Like, what
interrupt.
is it? No, you're totally fine, man. Like, what good is it actually going to? Like, if he was making space flights for everybody, I'd be like, oh, go ahead, man. But unfortunately, that's not
Even
what he's
that, I don't
doing.
even know I'd be all on board for, because how's that going to serve in the long run of things? I don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, hey, if we could get the average citizens up in space, I think it'd be pretty cool. But that's why I like support policies that would kind of break up. Like, I take
Like
Amazon
what?
for example. Like, there should be
Okay, yeah.
4 Amazons, and there's just none. There's only one right now. And so it
I,
allows
I
Amazon not to pay,
yes.
like you
Does that
said,
count?
not give back into the community and pay their
I always
workers the
kind
right amount. Sorry, what's up?
I kind of felt like Amazon was like a competition from UPS and the eBay and stuff like that. Like it's just
There,
another form of a different market of that.
right, and
It,
they should be more prominent, right? Like, if that was the
yeah,
case, then no one would, then you could be able to go to the UPS store or the store like that. It's not just delivery that Amazon is invested in. It's
yeah.
the entire infrastructure of their web store and stuff like that. And it
Mm,
is a monopoly in a lot of aspects.
yeah, like even though it might be like a few markets doing it, they're pretty much all trying to equal out to
Yeah.
the same payment, so they're still getting out ahead. And
Yeah, and
there's
it allows these companies not to pay their workers properly and to, treat them like absolute dog water. And I'm for the workers, you know what I mean? Like, when it comes
oh
down
yeah,
to
me
it,
too.
I'm for the average person. And so, like, another example is Walmart. There should be, like, I'm okay with Walmart having a couple locations around the nation, but it's in almost every city. There's a Walmart instead
Yeah,
of like
they've
local
definitely got a
business.
monopoly over the war. Yeah,
Yeah, and so I'm for implementing some sort of plan that would see these properties sold off to small businesses or just broken up to smaller companies so they don't have as much of a stranglehold, and so they can actually compete like our economy kind of demands.
yeah. Otherwise, it all falls apart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I get.
I think healthy competition is amazing. And so when I see people like Amazon kind of basically undercutting any competition and getting ahead of them, it it makes me upset because it's not providing that competition that
I
our
agree, but
economy
there's
revolves
some
around.
form of necessity to it, if that makes sense. Like they gotta try and be able to outcompete their rivals, so other people will try and make better deals. But I don't see where that's coming from on the
Well,
opposite end from,
from the Democrats or
or just like I don't see a rival to Amazon really.
oh, okay, yeah, my bad. I misinterpreted.
Yeah,
Well, that's because Amazon is so big that any competition that comes up is gonna be
weeded
starting
out almost immediately. Yeah.
handicapped. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be weeded out or incorporated into Amazon, you know.
Mm.
And so I'm glad we can come to an agreement at least that the companies really are just a little too big right now, and we need some better guardrails
Yeah.
against these price gouging is another one that I feel like Kamala could have really it was in her plan, but she didn't really
How did
tell
she
people
implement
about
it?
it. Well, she was
What
gonna
what what
implement.
what about it that you liked?
Oh, what about Kamala I liked? Well,
Or,
I
yeah,
really
or like what if
the price gouging plan was a big one for me because essentially companies are allowed to set their prices at whatever they really feel like. And so what that would have done is made it to where they would only have a set price they can raise it to until it's too high and they have to lower their prices. And all
that
of this
kind of
price it would take into things like how much food costs and stuff like that. It was very comprehensive. That's the word I was looking for.
it kind of sounds like whenever they try and put a cap on rent and then the renters can't raise a high for the following years or any income.
Yeah, I do see where you're coming from that, but they would still allow like it to be competitive, and they're not saying you can't raise your prices. It's just they're just saying you can't artificially raise your prices. That's what the companies
Okay.
were doing
All
is
right.
they're using the ideas essentially using they were using supply chain casus belli to raise the prices because of COVID and stuff like that. And that's why you still see kind of
Oh, that
insulting prices at the grocery store.
I wonder with COVID all the time, like how many things got
Oh,
pushed in there with it because oh we're in an emergency and that we got to get XYZ thing through or else there's
well,
problems and then
I mean COVID
it's in the
was
system.
it was killing a lot of people. I know it's we could look at it with rose tinted glasses, but it was killing a
Yeah.
large majority of older Americans. So, and there's a lot of old Americans in charge of Congress, so they were probably sweating.
What
But
I heard from COVID, oh sorry,
no,
I'm so
go
sorry.
ahead, brother.
What I heard from COVID was it wasn't really getting anybody, and that most people are getting sick from the air ventilators, and that they were actually more. That was what
Oh,
people were dying from, and not the actual disease itself.
well, no, no, they died from COVID. I don't know. I'd be interested to see the source from that, but the
I
World Health
don't.
Organization says, let me see what the COVID deaths are as of January 2026. I mean, right now they're very low. It's looking at
I
about
heard it was like
274.
significantly less than the common cold.
No, no, it was and it makes sense if you look at how a virus works, right? So a virus, I'm
Yeah.
sure you know that. And so when a new virus is introduced, it's going to kill a lot of people. That's just basic
Yeah, the
how
name of the game.
yeah, the name of the game, right? And so, I mean, I understand. I don't think there was any big conspiracy to hide COVID or any, and I think we had a pretty decent response. It's one of the things I say Donald Trump did well in. Um,
Yeah.
so I I think there were a lot of misinformation around COVID, so I don't blame you for uh hearing that. I mean, I
Another
could
thing,
totally see where you're coming
I
from.
also kind of thought it was like a pharmaceutical weapon so they could people sick and then sell them the cure. Another
Yeah,
like,
I've
idea
heard
I've had
that.
on it.
Yeah, I've heard
But I
that
don't know. It
before.
sounds a little far-fetched.
Well, I think I mean that has been as old as time. That those types of conspiracies, you know what I mean? Those go back
Yeah.
to fucking people saying people don't have depression, or, stuff like that. So I look at the data,
That's a whole other can of worms.
what's up? Sorry.
People not having depression's a whole other can of worms.
Well, hey, I'm a sufferer of depression. Unfortunately, it is very real for me, and I am very
Oh, I
blessed
see it.
personally to have my medication. But I'm sure we'll be here for hours if we talk about that. But anyways, was there anything? What's up?
Anything in particular I wanted to talk about? Not offhand. I'm trying to like see where there's a Biden discourse and
Yeah,
just
of
maybe
course.
talk about that you have a
Well, hey, anytime you have like you want to talk about something in particular, and you
uh,
feel free to join the waiting room and just let me know, man. I appreciate the conversation today. I'm glad,
vice versa.
I really do try to preach that my fellow Americans that either voted for Donald Trump or support Donald Trump, they're not the enemy. Like no one in America is my enemy. We're all Americans at the end of the day, and we're just trying to find what the best route is.
Yeah, I think we get a little confused with each other and like we make enemies out of people we don't know for no real reason other than just I don't understand them. I choose to, or I think
Like
that they choose
bipartisanry, yeah.
me. Yeah,
It's like
and
team
it's just
sports, right? Team sports.
yep.
Well,
We
hey,
don't
brother,
win if
I'm
we
gonna
want to work it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm gonna continue on with the show. Thank you for so much for calling in. This was Sparkman, ladies and gentlemen.
Pleasure. Have a great day, all of you.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Later, man. Take care.
You too.
Cool guy. I really like that guy. Seems like a cool individual. Oh, sorry. I didn't know if he left or not. Oh, okay, he did. I felt bad. I felt like I just cut him off there. Oh, I hope it hasn't just been a black screen, by the way, although it probably has. Let's see how the chat has been doing after that conversation. I think they enjoyed it. Yeah, of course, Eric. It was fun having you, man. I enjoyed it.
Bannon can jump in, shoot another 5-hour podcast trying to rehabilitate him. Like, Prince Andrew, what's the secret behind the royal family?
Look, you're the smartest guy in the room.
But again, has he admitted anything? Has he denied everything? Now, we should also probably talk about Noam Chomsky as well, the guy behind the book Manufacturing Consent, which in hindsight, maybe we should have suspected something. But either way, he also sends some reputational advice to his buddy Jeffrey Epstein. He says, I watched the horrible way you've been treated by the press and public. It's painful to say, but I think the best way to proceed is to ignore it. When the vultures dearly want is a public response, which then provides a public opening. In general, I think it's best not to react unless directly questioned, particularly in the current mood. That's the best advice I can think of. Noam. Now, he sends that to Matthew Hiltzik of Hiltzik Strategies, who is a also famous PR guy, I guess, trying to help Epstein, I assume, who responds, I think that is wise. Now, later talking with Bannon, Epstein loops
Looks like
in
we've been
Hiltzik.
I don't know where the argument comes from, but good luck to my warriors in the chat.
Again, he says Matt Hiltzik thought your idea was epic. Hypocrisy of the liberal left. And he says, yep, he would confidentially like to sit and help if you like. This is Matthew Hiltzik. You know, a lot of powerful people basically were bending over backwards, left, right, center, trying to rehabilitate this guy's image. And the question is, why? Why were all these guys so interested in their precious Jeffrey Epstein if they had no involvement? I mean, that's the part I can't figure out it. Because all of them deny it. All of them don't admit anything.
They were just good friends, man. What? They were just really good friends. What are you talking about?
And so what exactly is the problem? But now it's time to talk about Elon Musk's brother, Kimball Musk. He was all...
Oh. Yeah, apparently Elon Musk's brother is very they're just good friends,
in
man.
the files. Jeffrey was copied on an email talking about Kimball's 40th birthday, where the password to the secret party was riot. And then in all caps, Boris, the sender of this email, says, I am not joking about the password. This was in 2012 in September. And now that's important because a little bit later, Kimball Musk is emailing Boris Nikolic and Jeffrey Epstein, and he's talking to them about being connected with some redacted name and saying, I believe you both played a role, whatever that means. Now, whether this was at the party or, you know, right after their meeting in October, I don't know. But what's interesting is Boris responds and says, Kimball, just FYI, you better be nice to redacted. Jeffrey goes crazy when someone mistreats his girls/friends, so better be very nice to her. Kimball Musk responds, message received, wide and clear. Then he says, seriously, I'm very happy with my time so far with Jennifer. She's great. Now, again, was that supposed to be a redacted name we just read? Like, I don't know. They've been redacting it in earlier emails. Then all of a sudden you just get Jennifer. I can't really figure that out. But what I can figure out is that a little while later, a few days later, Jeffrey Epstein gets an email. Now, we know Kimball credits the meetup and says Boris...
Yeah, this is some shocking stuff. I don't think anybody knew about Elon Musk's brother being involved here. So, I mean, that's... And not redacting the victim's name is so just... I feel bad for her, dude. The victims of the Epstein saga are... It's so heartbreaking hearing some of their stories, dude. King James Epstein is not still alive, bro. That man is dead. That man is deader than dirt.
And Epstein...
King James believes the most crazy disinformation I've ever seen in my life.
were
Liar.
responsible in some way for
You're
this.
going to have to provide some real evidence to show that Jeffrey Epstein is still alive. A lot of people wanted that man dead.
Now Jeffrey Epstein's being emailed about Jen's schedule. Is that Jennifer? I mean, it seems like it because Jen's schedule for the rest of the year, and it seems like the assistant has copy and pasted Jen's response because she says, Sue, these would be dates in November, and then starts saying, you know, this, she can go to New York. She says the 29th to the 7th, she's free. Kimball to New York. Then she says, Kimball, Jen, London. Kimball, Jen, London to Morocco, ? Then she has a break, and then it's Jen, Kimball, St. Bart's. Assuming we're not sick
King
of
James,
each other.
I'm waiting for the evidence, man. I'm waiting for the evidence right now. To the chatters, Pierre, Zach, and Speaker, good luck on your war. I'm not sure what the war is about, but I see you all three are in the trenches, and I just, lay low, try to stay out of direct line of fire. That's what I do have to say. Whoa, that's a crazy question. I love Indians. Speaker of Purity, I love them. I'm sorry, I'm intervening. I'm supposed to not not intervene here, but
by the end of November. Now, I can't figure out why is she running this schedule about when she's hanging out with Kimball, who Jeffrey set her up with. Like, why is she running this by Elon Musk? To be clear, I don't know. You know, there could be, I guess, innocent explanations for this. Maybe, I don't know. But all I see are constant, powerful people.
yep.
Either
TDS attacks the brain cells. I'm unfortunately suffering from it. Yeah, that was crazy. Speaker of purity. I love Indians, man. You're waiting for evidence, like yeah, unfortunately I do have to wait for evidence.
they're being intro to girls, talking about the harem, talking about beautiful ladies, and the FBI, they can't figure it out. They have no, what? No.
Dear Powers, I don't know where all the hate is coming from. You seem to be having a good time in my chat right now. So I don't know why you guys are complaining so much. You seem to be enjoying your time.
No evidence to even investigate third parties. Why? I guess because they're rich and powerful. Around the world, we're seeing resignations. We're seeing people lose their status. But here in the United
Be back later. Eric read his chats. I can point you in the new direction. I can't understand it. Oh, well, have a good day, Zach. It was really fun having you here, man. I hope to see you again.
United States, we've got like multiple presidents in the files. We got the world's richest man.
Okay, but the speaker of purity, man, I just gotta tell you, Indians are cool. Everyone on this planet is pretty fucking sick. Hating you, uneducated, uneducated. Who cares about who invented shit or not, you know? I think India is an amazing country and it's got amazing people. It's got a rich history and some beautiful, beautiful ideas. So,
Man in the file, several of the world's richest men in the file, and we just can't drum up any kind of evidence. It's just incredible to me. Now, I also want to talk about another rich and powerful person, and that is Peter Attia. He's a podcast bro. He's a longevity expert. And actually, funny enough, I read his book. And that's going to come into play here in a second because, oh boy, did I get some additional context. But let's start here with something that Peter Attia sent Jeffrey Epstein. He says, subject, got a fresh shipment. And then Epstein responds, me too. And there's a completely redacted image. Is that a girl? Or is this bad redactions? You know, we don't know.
Oh, no, India was good under everyone's. Like, come on, India's a good place. It's got great people. Honestly, a lot of my online friends in my earlier years were Indian. I have no idea why, but they were.
Although we'll find out in a second because later Peter responded to this. But Peter says, please tell me you found that picture online. Jeffrey responds, got a fresh shipment. Frayed not. Peter responds, you know the biggest problem with becoming friends with you. The life you lead is so outrageous.
Go to India then? Yeah. Bro, why can't you just respect people's culture and say they're all great, you know? I think all cultures have some valuable aspects to it. They've got a huge population. They do. And they're actually a very good counterweight to China. A very good counterweight to China.
Yet I can't tell a soul. Why, Peter? Why can't you tell a soul? Why don't you tell us now? Now that it's all out in the open, why don't you tell us why you can't tell a soul the secrets or the life that Epstein leads. And then we get another redacted.
Yeah, right. You can appreciate places and not have to live there. I even think some of the Russian, why can't they? Well, I don't know about the Indian population in the UK, but what I can say about the Indian population in America is they're some of the most American people I've ever met. They fucking love America. They'll vote for Trump any day of the year. So I don't know about the people in the UK, but here they acclimated very well, I'd say. Honestly, very good business. Like a lot of them, a lot of immigrants from India start businesses here and have great success of it. So,
photo, right? And then some more images.
I'm all for enriching my my country. You know what I'm saying?
Peter says, "Please tell me that's not where you actually are." And Jeffrey says, "You can see the gym in the middle, just me and 4. And Peter says, "I think you might have a more interesting life than the Dos Equis guy. Is this off the coast of France?" "No, it's my island in the Caribbean near St. Thomas. If you go to the Google Earth and type in Little St. James." Beautiful. Isn't that nice? Behind closed doors, it's beautiful. In public, you know, we'll hear about what a monster this guy is, right? But behind closed doors, when nobody's watching, oh, it's beautiful. There's some other stuff Peter Attia said, which I'm not going to get into.
You know, I don't think there's a mass wave of Indians that just hate the UK. I haven't seen that, but again, I'm not a UK resident. Honestly, if you wanted somebody who was more informed about UK politics, check out my homie Loner Box. Would you take your shirt off, please? I'm all right, but thank you for the request. Actually, yeah, I'll take it off. One sec. Just look in the right-hand corner. I'll take it off. I got you, man. You want to see that hot dark elf action? Ooh. God damn. I know. Ladies, calm down. I'm putting it back on. Well, for pants, you're gonna have to get an extra special, right? You're gonna have to buy a little extra there.
I think it's very, appropriate for medical professionals to be saying such things, but, this wasn't all business, right? This wasn't just doctor-patient kind of stuff. There's a lot of guy talk, a lot of banter between the fellas.
I see what you're saying, Wang Doodle, and I agree that, like, cultures are very different, but I do think the threads of American, like, the ideas of freedom, liberty, and justice for all, I do think they're super strong and super, able to be, intertwined into many other cultures. I think it's very strong, so it's not really even talking about, it's just a point I like to bring up, that I do think America is, as a culture, is pretty fucking strong. Trump hurts soy boys? I guess. I don't know. Good or evil? It's about they are changes? Yeah, of course not. I don't think there's such thing as like a good culture, a bad culture. I think there's just different cultures and they all have some amazing things in them. Any culture will have something beautiful.
About ladies. And maybe that's why Peter Attia says that hopefully Jeffrey Epstein is in town when I'm back in 2 weeks. I go into Jeffrey Epstein withdrawal when I don't see him. So guys, these two were close. I mean, apparently so close that, Peter Attia goes into withdrawal.
Is that what Trump's been going through?
Peter
Oh
Attia
my
says,
good. Oh my goodness, guys. We found it. That's why Trump looks like Darth Sidious right now. He's going through Epstein withdrawal. Ugh.
On island, Jeffrey Epstein
That's
says
a
Key
weird
Beach,
thing to
probably
say,
Palm
bro.
Beach. And he says, what do you do when you get there? Jeffrey Epstein, guess. Peter Attia, besides that,
That's a weird thing to say about your homeboys. You know what I'm saying? That's like just weird. I'm never gonna say I'm going through so-and-so withdrawal. That's just a weird thing to say to your boys, your dogs. Multiculturalism, I don't believe, like, what do you mean by multiculturalism? Because I think that culture is like, it's an interesting thing, right? Because it combines aspects of society, it combines aspects. What I would say is that you're able to have different cultures throughout the like throughout the United States of America, and they seem to work just fine with each other. And I think cultures can exchange and give each other its best aspects, but I would say that the through line of freedom, liberty, and justice for all, at least in America, those are such strong ideals that they completely phase out anything else. Based on where they come from. I don't know. Securing the border and saving countless lives from, well, Biden had the border secured already. Of diverse cultures, ethnicities, in a single society. Well, I think that can work. It can work for sure. I do think they would probably have to have a history together that is not confrontational. But I think given enough time, any culture will mix with the other one. And they'll keep the best ideas from each culture. Biden had nothing secure, then why did the border encounters go from 300,000 to 60,000 by the time he left office? He did secure the border. Sorry.
They're not even trying to hide it, guys. This is barely code at this point. You know, what do you do? Guess.
I'll show you my data. Yeah. Here, I'll show you it. Border encounters from 2020 to 2024. CBP encounters. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, at the height, we're looking at the southwest border because that's the one everybody is so concerned about. So, these are the total number of encounters. Hold on, these aren't by month though. I'm looking for by month. Well, even then, if you just want to use the southwest border, in 2024, hold on, that's not showing exactly what I was looking for, but even here, you can see it was going down. Porting period. Oh, yeah, I know about that. Related data and information. Okay. Monthly tables. Is it? I think it's the monthly tables I'm looking for. Yeah, right here. Expulsions. Well, as you can see, it was going down by the time Biden... Oh, these are enforcement returns. Yeah, these are reparations. Yeah, I know it's 0 for the last year. But the border is shut down now. But that's not what you guys were asking for. You guys were asking, okay, is this the one I'm looking for? You guys were asking for a secured border, and that's what Biden gave you. Ah, yes. So look, this was during 2024. It only shows, actually it'll show data from 2025 too. From the start of 2025. So yeah, look. Here's at during the height of 2024, and it was already going down. By the time he left office, let's see here, about 60,000 border encounters. I don't know how else to tell you guys. All right, anyways, let's continue on.
No, Jeffrey, we know what you do, right? So it's so funny that the FBI's like, we don't know. We
Yeah, and Biden gave you less illegals to come over the border. I just showed you. No, I don't think that's what most Americans voted for. Most Americans voted for people to deport, for ICE to deport dangerous illegal immigrants that had a criminal history that wasn't a speeding ticket. That's not what most Americans voted for. If you look at exit polls, it will actually show you the number one people voted for reason people voted for Donald Trump was due to the economy. Let me call in. All right. Well, come into the Discord. If you're in the waiting room, I'll drag you in here. What does ICE stand for? ICE. Like the water. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement.
can't tell what's out there. We have no evidence, right? No evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties and then proceed to dump on us a ton of evidence. At least to investigate, right? I'm not saying these people are guilty. Obviously, all of them deny.
Wanted them all out of here. That's not why most Americans voted for Donald Trump. So you are in the minority, my friend.
Blame other people, say other people are responsible for everything.
Well, I'll say that Obama didn't do it like this.
So that is taken as a given. I am not accusing anyone here. I'm just saying.
See, and now this is so sad because I don't call you guys like pieces of shit. I don't call you any of that. But MAGA has every at every point tried to demonize me and call me like names. I don't do that with you guys. But you seem so apt at doing it to me. But that doesn't give you guys pause at all. Anyways.
Like we got a few leads here, fellas. Some people to look at. Now I want to address the fact
and
that
what metrics are you looking at? We've been hemorrhaging jobs since Trump took office and put up these tariffs. What are you talking about? Biden didn't have a single month where he lost jobs. Probably because you're a demon? Oh, well, thank you. I personally do not... unemployment is up. What are you talking about? We've lost jobs. Oh, well, unemployment technically is... Yeah, I don't believe the... I don't believe that personally. MAGA isn't a people, though.
Peter Attia has actually...
Yeah, I know it's not an idea. It's an idea, but MAGA is... There is a political ideology that MAGA derives from. So I guess in a sense you're right. You're not one person, but you all bend the knee to Trump. Don't even try to say that.
Responded to this whole debacle. He says the following email.
I don't know. Those times when Trump was threatening Greenland, the Dow Jones, the S&P, and I can't think of the last one I typically use. But they all were doing just fine. No, Democrats don't have an ideology. If you actually look at any Democratic media, you will see they are much more diverse than the speakers of Donald Trump. The speakers of Donald Trump, the mouth, they just say the same thing over and over. People like Benny Johnson, Tim Pool.
Is what I sent my team last night. I sent a similar version to my patients as well. You put your trust, your credibility, your hard work, what we built together, and I take that responsibility seriously. You deserve a complete and honest account of what did and did not happen. I apologize. It did not get this out sooner.
No, we have a big tent party, my friend. You don't believe facts that you don't like. I don't think so.
I wanted to be third.
Oh, bullshit. Funny how plenty of name 3 that aren't Thomas Massey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Ron Paul. Name 3 that aren't Thomas Massey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Ron Paul. I'll wait.
Burrow. He says, I was not involved in any criminal activity. My interactions had nothing to do with his abuse or exploitation of anyone. I was never on his plane, never on his island, never present at any parties. That said, I apologize and regret putting myself in a position where emails, some of them embarrassing, tasteless, and indefensible, are now public. So it's this apology. You know, he addresses some of the things.
Well, I'm not a communist.
And he says that some of it's just banter, right? Like I said, it's just guy talk, whatever that means. He claims that his Got a Fresh shipment was in reference to a photograph of bottles of metformin, and then Jeffrey responded with a photograph of an adult woman. I responded with crude, tasteless banter. He says one line in that exchange about his life being outrageous and me not being able to tell anyone is being interpreted as awareness of wrongdoing. That's not how I meant it at all. What I was referring to poorly and flippantly was the discretion commanded by those socials and professional circles. The idea you don't talk about who you meet. I don't know, Peter. This seems like revisionist history. A little bit. I mean, personally, to me, as I'm viewing this, you know, third hand, right? Just from the outsider perspective. Now, Peter says he did ask Jeffrey about his 2008 conviction, because all this happened afterwards, right? He characterized it as prostitution-related charges. In 2018, I learned...
They didn't remove a dictator. What are you talking about? Venezuela is still under the regime's rule. They didn't remove anybody, dipshit. Oh, well, they removed Maduro. But that's it. They didn't do anything. What are you talking about? That regime is still repressing its people. You know, I liken this to the people that celebrated the Afghanistan. You know, I really do. Everybody was celebrating. Everybody was like, fuck yeah, let's go. And just a few months later, the IEDs started blowing up, ladies and gentlemen.
Minimized. I was incredibly naive to believe him, and then later explains that in 2018, November, he read the Miami Herald investigative article, told him he needed to accept responsibility for what he did.
By the way, if you guys are liking and enjoying the stream, please remember to like and subscribe. I do a show every day where I talk about the news, politics, and just so much more. So if that interests you, remember to like and subscribe. Seems like I may not be able to get to my rightoid of the day. Well, maybe we will.
That he even asked Epstein to provide therapy to Epstein's victims, which is an interesting approach.
Who are the loudest liberals that make the most noise, that want communism? Someone like Hassan? I'll tell you this, Hassan's a fucking dipshit, dude. No serious person listens to someone like Hassan and actually knows anything about politics. I'll just be honest with you. Hassan is stupid. And I do agree that he makes a horrible name for us. But people like Brian Tyler Cohen, people like David Pakman, they're not calling for communism. I haven't heard about that, Jim, personally. But I will tell you that I do think the Trump accounts is a good start. I have issues with... It's a great idea, and I don't want to poo-poo on that, but I will say that it's a great idea. The issue comes, I just feel if the parent isn't putting as much money as the maximum limit allows, they're not getting as much of a return. But, of course, you haven't heard about it. I don't know, man. Sorry. A lot of news happens. The Epstein files are huge right now. Sorry, I want to talk about something topical.
To have here. Now, the funny thing is, there are some more emails between Peter Attia that we need to read.
No, I wouldn't, dude. I'm sorry, I'm critical of my leaders in power.
Because remember that he said he read this 2018 article from the Miami Herald. I believe it's this one by Julia K. Brown in November.
Notice how I've never heard of Hutchinson, Logistics, Kinzinger, and Spilsbury. Are they still Republicans? I'm sorry I'm critical of my leaders, dude. You should do the same.
November 28th. It's about Jeffrey Epstein assembling a large cult-like network of underage girls. But in December, Peter...
Well, I'm sorry you don't care about 1,000+ women getting trafficked by rich and powerful men. But I do. And most of the country disagrees with you, my friend.
Tia says, home is very good, work stressful, making some changes.
No, I agree with, like, I do to a certain extent think some things are astroturfed, but I think that happens a lot more on the Republican side. Like, take, for example, Twitter. That thing is a fucking hellhole. What was fake about the election? The quote unquote, what was fake about that? A bipartisan committee agreed that Russia tried to interfere in our elections. I think the push comes with the committee concluded that Trump did not know about the Russian conclusion, but that Russia was trying to get Trump to win. What's wrong with that? We all know that Trump and Russia are a lot closer than the other candidates. Like,
he asks him, what's the fallout from the recent story? Apparently talking about the Miami Herald. Now, maybe I just didn't see the emails, that where he was demanding accountability. I don't know what that's about, but Jeffrey Epstein says, same as usual, just tougher.
So you have issues with the bipartisan committee, mostly led by Republicans?
Peter Attia says, legally, any change. Jeffrey Epstein, 0. So, I don't know. Maybe this whole, you got to provide therapy to, these victims happened. I haven't seen it yet. I definitely could see it. But it's just kind of shocking.
No, there was evidence found that Russia tried to interfere with our election through various means, such as ad campaigns and paying influencers to push their message. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like the whole, is there any change legally? That more sounds like you're covering yourself.
How was it? What was found out to be a ruse? Did Russia not pay for an ad campaign that was favorable toward Trump? No, they did. Did Russia not pay influencers to push Donald Trump messaging and pro-Russia messaging? Yes, they did. No, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry, you just are steeped in misinformation, my friend. I'm trying to pull you out, but you seem to have a problem with facts. And how do you tell somebody that something is red when they don't even believe in the color red? It's hard.
All of that, if not for the thing we're about to see, which just in my mind is maybe the worst thing I've seen in the files, not for its, explicitness, the amount of simping that people did for Jeffrey Epstein. Now they all say, oh, it was a personal mistake, blah, blah, blah. I regret it. I didn't look into it enough. But the level is just...
Name one other country that has tried to interfere in our election and has done it to such an extent. Name one other country. No, Jim, it's like talking to a 2-year-old with you. You just make shit up and just try to spread misinformation. And you're sowing doubt into our election system when you do shit like this. You know that, right? Because now, if we ever find credible information that another country is interfering in our election, you're going to have people be like, oh, well, they said that about Donald Trump and he was innocent. And yes, Donald Trump didn't know China. How? How has Liechtenstein? Now, Liechtenstein is a very dangerous actor, and we're dealing with them in ways that we can. Their cybersecurity measures are too powerful. How is China, what ad campaign has China put together to get a politician election? I'm sorry, but you're going to have to bring some evidence. You can't just say they've been doing it for 60 years. Yes, China attacks our cybersecurity measures, but it doesn't appear they've been trying to influence our elections, my friend. And you realize our elections aren't one monolith, right? They are 50 independent elections. So to quote unquote hack an election, they would have to do quite a bit. Now, if they wanted to influence our politic through something like paying influencers and buying ad campaigns, then yeah, they could probably really hold them account. Doesn't have to do with an ad campaign. Well, that's the only way that people can meaningfully influence our elections. Our elections are very strong. You guys think that they have to like hack the machines, and that's just not how it works. No, they did find evidence. You're right. They didn't find evidence that they colluded, but they found evidence that Russia interfered. You're being disingenuous, and you know damn well that you are.
You've never...
It's done through backdoor deals. Yeah, I have... How do you say that? You're like, well, they do it, and I can't give you any evidence of it, but they do it. No, they don't hack our machines, dude. Our machines are very strong. And if you know of somebody colluding with the Chinese government, you should come forward with that and tell the public. Honestly, that sounds more like what's happening with Tulsi Gabbard than anyone else.
Never seen anything like it. So remember I said I read a book by Peter Attia. It was called Outlive, and he's supposed to be this doctor who knows a lot about
I agree,
longevity.
Jim. Trump won the 2016 election. You're not, you know, you'll find no disagreement here. We admit when our candidate didn't win.
So he writes it, and I picked it up because at the rate we're getting rid...
Dude, what are you wanting proof of, bro? What are you wanting proof of? Do you want me to bring up the fucking entire testimony given by members of Congress? Do you want me to bring up the investigative reports done by Jack Smith? Or the bipartisan committee, my bad. Like, what the fuck do you want?
rid of these crimes. I need to live forever in order.
No, it's not, bro. No, it's not. You guys don't trust this is what I'm afraid of happening. This is exactly what I'm afraid of happening. You guys don't trust our election system. Our elections are strong, dude. Our elections are strong. They are 50 different institutions working together to hold an election. It's decentralized. It is an amazing tool.
To try to stop some of these scams. But as I pick up this book, and one of the things in the book is Peter Attia kind of reflecting internally about how he's kind of been a bit, and I'm paraphrasing here, but a bit of
But
a
you
psycho.
see what I'm talking about here, Wang Doodle. It's like backdoor deals happen. Like I just, if we don't hear about it, then we can't just speculate, you know? Like I'm sure backroom deals happen sometimes, but most of the time our democracy is run efficiently and most people have to go through the official channels. Why is yellow considered a gender neutral? I have no idea. Is it? I guess that's interesting.
In his life, and he needed to focus on family stuff. And so he kind of, it's almost a confessional of some embarrassing things in his life. And honestly, it comes off as very vulnerable, very self-reflective. You know, he's
Council of Foreign Relations report from 2024 claims that China is adopting Russia's methods to influence U.S. elections. Oh, that's great. All right, my bad. We're adding China. We're adding China. That's what they say? I don't know. Is that what they say?
this doctor telling other people what to do, but he's not.
Oh, and now that we've come to a point where Jim is just, he can't do it anymore. Now we go to the insults. Losing your virginity? Oh, my friend, I have very much lost that. Unfortunately. But I'm working on regaining my card.
Not a very good patient. That's kind of how it comes off. And one of the stories is awful. I won't go too much into it, but basically his son has this horrible...
Hey, at least I'm not like Nick Fuentes, right, guys? That dude was a virgin, is a virgin still. I think we all know why that is, but...
medical emergency. It's described in this book like
gender neutral doesn't exist? You're telling me... Okay, let me just grab an object. You're telling me this water bottle that I just grabbed is not gender neutral. See, it's like you... Oh, Jesus, I didn't realize you, I didn't realize who you were, what you had. Well, you can remain a virgin, like your idol, Nick Fuentes, and, leave. Thank you. Anyways. Sorry, I didn't realize we had a Nazi there. My bad, guys. Didn't catch him. Nick? No, you're thinking of Nick Shirley. And Nick Shirley, what fraud did Nick Shirley expose? I'd love to know. What indictments have come from Nick Shirley's video?
A few months ago, Tuesday, July 11th, 2017, that date is important. At 5:45 to be exact, I received a call from Jill, my wife. She was in an ambulance with our infant son. Now, again, I'm not going to get into the details here because, it's tragic, and I'm not trying to bring that into it. What is relevant is that Peter Attia talks about how he stayed in New York and didn't show up because he was, quote, busy with his important work. Even today, just thinking about what happened, I feel nauseous about my behavior. I can't believe I did that to my family. Now, at the time I read that and I was like, well, it's at least as good that you self-reflected on that. It's horrible, but, yeah, you were a bit of a psycho. But what's crazy, now we find out some of the important work, it's a little unclear, but some of the important work may have been Jeffrey Epstein, which is...
Now, a person can be gender neutral too, my friend. And you're confusing two things, biology and gender. Gender is the societal norms of... Hold on, one moment. Gender is a certain set of societal norms that a person takes that displays who they are. Oh, it was just one OPAD person that claimed that, Sans? Interesting. That's not scientifically accurate, though. Okay, number one is, when do we ever care when something is scientifically accurate in our society? Truly, I want to know. besides going to the doctor, we don't really bring in human biology in your day-to-day. Now, there is also evidence coming out that a trans person's limbic system is a lot different than a normal person's. But with that being said, no, we don't treat gender and biology as the same. In both an
Oh, it's
academic
so dark
sense
to
and a
imagine.
societal
Remember,
sense.
he says July 11th,
No,
27.
gender is not. Gender has nothing to do with genomes, my friend. Sorry. Gender is how you display yourself towards society. In many ways.
17 is when this all happened. And then he says he did not come home to San
But,
Diego.
like, why do we care about gender and all this? Like, I truly don't know why you guys don't just want to leave people alone, you know? How am I hurting America with my fascist propaganda? Oh yeah, man. I'm just spewing it. Let me tell you. Vernon, I remember you. I think you're one of my biggest fans, so I appreciate that. He's actually a played. Display is not connected to DNA. Exactly. Exactly. Not really. No.
Until Friday the following
What's
week,
up,
10 days later.
Patriot? I love these like little MAGA people that they're I don't know what it is. They might be my fans or they're just like I don't get it. But what they'll do is they'll come into my live every day and they'll give me engagement, they'll give me viewership. I really appreciate it.
So July 11th, 2017. 2 days after this happens, he's talking to Jeffrey Epstein.
No, I
And
didn't. I
Jeffrey-
didn't
they
say
seem
the
to be
opposite.
coordinating about something.
Gender is what you display. If I didn't make it clear, I apologize. Won't you think about the 5 people in sports this affects? That's true.
Sure what time.
Always being misleading, host. Vernon, I think you're just upset. Oh my god, Don, you literally called it before Patriot said it. I say leave it up to the sports confederations. No, I come in and report the live for terrorism. Oh, good to know you have a sad life.
Jeffrey Epstein, 9:30. Peter Attia responds, sure, I can come earlier. Also, if you have a hard stop at 10, let me know. You're hanging out with Jeffrey? I don't even know what to say. This is out of pocket.
Yep, words change their meaning over time. I understand that. They do. But now we're just discussing what you see, now we're just splitting hairs on what words mean.
I mean, there's
No, if a definition changes and the scientific community agrees, then yes, that is exactly how words change.
there's no explanation for this. I mean, I didn't see this in the response from Peter. I mean, maybe he thinks he addresses it because he already admitted that was like scummy, but that is just. There's a reason that didn't make it in the book, is what I'm trying to say. I didn't see that in the book when I read it. You know, I didn't see, I was actually, you know, one of the things I needed to do, my important work was seeing or talking to Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, isn't that weird? Like, that's the simping that I'm talking about, is these people love this guy. Or that's how it seems to me. Like, what are all these rich and powerful people doing protecting?
It's like okay. It is splitting hairs. It is. It does not ultimately matter what it means as to what I'm advocating for. I'm advocating for people to be able to express themselves freely. Appeal to authority fallacy. Huh?
Him missing emergencies for Jeffrey, fawning over Jeffrey, asking for Jeffrey's harem, saying their biggest problem is the life they lead is so outrageous they can't tell. So, I mean, what is going on?
It's good to just like say my opposition is delusional instead of just actually debating their points and stuff like that. Like grab it hard. Bro, what the fuck is that name? Grab it hard. Are you okay, man? Like, MAGA accuse, I've seen the virgin accusation a lot, but are you okay with a name like Grab It Hard? You can express yourself, but why mutilate and well, I don't think that... I know a trans individual who recently had their surgery and they've never been happier, truly. But then let us freely, but that's mean, man. You know what I mean? That's just mean. Like, why would you call somebody something they don't want to be called? You know what I mean? You're just being mean. Bro, your express themselves freezy is total BS, false, and degenerate. No, bro, you're a Bible thumper whose time has passed. I'm afraid. No to LGBT? Well, I'm bisexual, so if you guys hate that, if you hate people that like both sexes, then I'm sorry. You should probably leave. Or keep watching.
On here. And is it true they all didn't know, right? Because, you know, I'm reading these documents, and it's hard to say who exactly knew what, when. But I don't believe, remember, they're all denying it. I don't believe nobody knew, right? Clearly some people...
Vernon, you are right. The two main genders are male and female. But I like how you said main genders, because that implies there are other genders in between them. So thank you. Okay, hold on. Happy? No. They're not being selfish by transitioning. Number one, we don't ever. No reason to. What if it makes them happy? They're allowed to do things for themselves. It's okay to call... I've never said that. It's okay to call it... Well, if they're being racist, then yes. Donald Trump is named in the Epstein files more than Jesus. Yeah, he's got like 1,500 mentions. No, who cares if they're being selfish, number one. You're so degenerate, I unsubbed. Oh, no! What will I ever do? Oh, God, no, not anti-999P. He was my favorite. No, please, don't tell me.
People knew what was going on, and there's all this kind of coded language in the files where they talk about this stuff almost in like a nudge.
Okay, well, you must hate Donald Trump then, because he's selfish as fuck. Oh my God, here we go with the moral and spiritual values. My brother, we're a secular nation.
Kind of way. I mean, here's some...
Donald Trump has done racist things. He barred black people from owning apartments in the 80s. I'm sorry, man.
Woody Allen stuff, he was in the files. He says his business office, if you can make out the check to me, it looks very bad because then it looks like a gift to me. He says that to Epstein. He says, I don't want to be one of your women, or should I say, girls. And what's that? Oh, how do we... Come on, guys. Woody says, I would be much more...
I thought you were supporting Donald Trump. If you don't support Donald Trump, then we can at least agree on that. Total by death. All right, so anti-999P just displayed something that will get you timed out, but for him probably a ban. because he wants to be a silly goose. It's advocating for the death of anybody, but especially Americans. I'm your fellow American, and if you want me to die, I think that's fucking disgusting, bro. Anyways.
Expensive than your girls, you wouldn't be able to afford me. Jeffrey responds, yes, the price to pay would be
To
too
all
high.
my MAGA brethren, I just want you to know, you are on the ranks with those people. You're on the ranks with those. You are allying with people who wish me to die. So that's why I advocate so much against Donald Trump. Anti-9 or whatever the fuck his name was just displayed it. Jesus, I would never call for the fucking death of an American, but apparently these people are okay with saying all of the... Anyways.
Woody says this will be a beautiful friendship. And then Jeffrey says, as long as I follow orders, smiley face. Woody Allen sends a message saying Woody says the exact same thing, but in a dirtier way. Jeffrey responds, what did he say? Woody Allen, are you kidding? I can't put it in writing. I mean, no evidence, no evidence. How? Come on. I think I see a little bit of evidence. I'm squinting, but I think I can see a little bit of evidence. I mean, guys, like Jeffrey Epstein right here, where he's talking to a guy, he says, Paris with Woody, and the person responds, for le pedophile convention. And Jeffrey says, I think pedophile is the plural.
What?
I mean, no
You're
evidence.
lumping an
I
idea
mean,
with the entire support table. My brother, I'm sorry I misinterpreted your support for Donald Trump. I apologize.
that no evidence? That's nothing. We don't even want to question.
But no, I am. That's why I'm totally, if I see the left start saying the shit like the fascist in charge are saying, then I'm gonna fucking say something. And I do say something. Now, right now, I think the biggest threat to our democracy is Donald Trump. But if you think for a minute, I'm okay with people like Hassan, people like, well, Hassan's like the biggest, and only one of the popular ones. But I'm not okay with them. No to LGBT. Okay, man. Well, a large majority of America disagrees with that. Now, I think the big issue for most voters in the trans topic came with it being in, oh, geez, here we go. We're not a democracy, though. Yes. I'm not going to fight over definitions, man. Democracy, republic, whatever you want to call it, this is an amazing union. And I love America.
These people, there's no...
Okay, ooh, look, we have fighting going on. We have USA will always be democracy. Or we are not a democracy, though. Let's see who wins on that.
There's no investigations going on. So, yeah, it's honestly really sad to see how... Look, I'm not saying people around the world are having crazy consequences, but a few people are resigning, thank goodness. A few people are at least facing a little bit of scrutiny, but here Elon Musk lays out the playbook, apparently for our guys. We admit nothing, we deny everything, and we blame others. We just push the spotlight onto other people, and unfortunately, that's what you've seen the whole time from all the people in the files. All of them say, oh, I was so happy these files came out. It's about shining accountability and justice for the victims, but I had nothing to do with it. Okay, so then where's the justice for the victims? So nobody... all of you say somebody else had something to do with it, but everybody says nobody had anything to do with it.
No, they don't. I know you're fucking lying, you loser. I'm sorry, Pierre, but the LGBT has been the T has been part of this movement since Stonewall, so you can get the fuck out of here with that, loser.
The FBI says they don't have any other, investigations, any other kind of leads, despite the fact we have
I'm
one
not
of the
human,
procurers
apparently.
of the women.
Yeah,
just
you got me.
walking
I don't
free,
exist.
apparently.
You're right.
Like, no charges against him. Have we investigated him? I mean, it's just shocking. how much the Epstein files show the
Pax, can you just be honest? How much of your porn history is of trans porn? You can be honest. Yeah, but look at what they're saying about me. I'm not human. Like, could you imagine saying that about your fellow American? I couldn't. All right. I mean, honestly, it's just sad, isn't it? It's honestly just sad how they have to demonize their fellow Americans.
powerful.
Yes, I am kind of upset that my fellow Americans are okay with just completely removing a section of people that have historically been a very big part of our movement. That your guys' revisionism will never be able to get rid of. And it's just sad that you guys want to focus on trans people rather than what's actually affecting your lives, you know?
How they protect their own, how so many of them knew what was going on.
Like, how are
to the
trans
extent
people
they found out
existing
later, a lot of them
affecting
tried
your
to
life?
protect Epstein,
Truly.
like literally make PR campaigns for his
I
reputation.
just don't like it.
And this
It
is
makes
a
me
dark
upset.
look at the state of the world, honestly, because Epstein happened a while ago, but the reason everyone cares is because there's other Epsteins around, right? There's other people evading accountability all the time. There's other people that this band of billionaires and power brokers and PR people, even lawmakers, they circle the wagon.
But yet
and protect
again,
their own.
MAGA can once again fails to talk about what we're talking about and goes on a long tirade about trans people. I mean, that's their dialogue line at this point, man. That's gotta be their dialogue. If I'm forced to recognize, dude, yes, it is freedom of speech. You're not gonna get arrested if you don't call them the right gender. Honestly, most times they'll be okay with it until they say, hey, can you call me this? I'm not good for the environment. Oh my God. Listen to how MAGA talks about their fellow American. I like to point this out because these people like to say we have the aggressive rhetoric. Who's the one calling who not human? So embarrassing. I don't know. I don't really know if you realize, Vernon, but you're hurting your own cause. LGBT are not genders. Anyways, guys, I do have to be getting out of here because I have work in about an hour. So if you guys enjoyed the stream and you want to see more like this, remember to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. No, you get fired from a job. No, well, if that's the job's rules, that's the job's rules, brother. Sorry. If you disagree with your job's rules, then you don't have to work there, you know? That's the US government has no power what a private business does. Unless it's actively hurting the community or something. Isn't that what you guys want? Anyways, we're going to be getting out of here. Again, remember to like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for being in the channel and talking and all of that. It does help. It really does help out. Trump loves my mother. That's great. I love my mother, so hell yeah, man. Anyways, let's go into the front mission for music. I'm feeling, I don't know, just a random one. Siege. That one sounds fun. Let's hear Siege. It's loading. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. This sounds funky. Hell yeah. You're gonna call and get me fired? You're embarrassing. The chat I have is false. Alright, good luck. I work for Quick Shop, so hit 'em up. Fortunately for me, I don't have to worry about, like, horrible racist things I've said. So, like, they would have to find a really good reason to fire me. Patrick Skywalker, I have no idea what you're even bringing up. 1.5 billion in a week? I've never heard that in my life. I do feel bad for Pact Supremacy's mom, though. I really do. I mean, could you imagine? Could you imagine raising a son that was this hateful? Very embarrassing. Alright, I do gotta get ready for work, so peace out. I'll be live tomorrow at 7 p.m., by the way.